Good morning, fight fans, and we got a lot of boxing to talk about. How you guys doing out there? We have a lot to break down, and I thought that I'm gonna get an early start on this one right here, cause man, we got a lot to break down. Will the real monster please stand up? That's what a lot of fight fans are saying, and one fight fan in particular, my boy Stock Chasers. Woo! He got his pom poms out and cheerleading for the Mexican monster. I hear you, my man. But are you a prisoner in the moment right now as a boxing fan? And who really had the best performance? What was more on the line? What was who had more to prove? And who had the tougher challenge, in fact, between the two monsters. We're going to be breaking that, all that, and more. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And like always, let's hop right into this episode. What's up, Frontline? Yeah, yeah. Well, Frontline has jokes as usual, you know what I mean? But Frontline, like many boxing onlookers, I feel, are really being a prisoner in the moment. We're going to be talking about that right now. We're going to break down the fight between David the Monster Benavidez and Zurdo and Junto Nakatani and Naoya Inoue. Now, as far as boxing goes, the violence, the knockout, that never gets old. With David the Monster Benavidez going up 25 pounds to fight Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight was not nothing to look past. Okay? What he did on that night against Zurdo, remarkable. Remarkable. I'm going to tell you something right now. David the Monster Benavidez proved why he is truly revered as the Mexican monster. He destroyed Zurdo. And what I believe he was not going to be able to do. I told you guys, I did not think that his punching power was going to go up that strong. Although controversy started to break out about these elbows, let me clear something up in boxing real quick. For all you conspiracy theories talking about he threw illegal elbows and that he hit him in the jaw and this and that, look, I saw where the elbow landed. It landed right here. No matter what, it did land. The punch that broke his orbital bone was, in fact, a punch. In fact, it was a punch. And now, as far as the elbow, gentlemen, listen, in every single sport, fouls are committed. In basketball, another basketball player will step on another basketball player's foot on accident. It happens. Somebody in the NFL will cross the line, right? Flag. Okay? Encroachment. It happens. In every sport, a foul happens. What David the Monster Benavidez was doing with his elbows was called framing. He was trying to create space by pushing him off violently. Yes, they're in a fight. This is called framing. And in the act of framing, of trying to veer the guy that's attacking you, you will commit a foul. It's not intentional. It's not like he's like whipping it. No, he's trying to block his punch from coming in. It's a natural movement from David. These are called fouls. When a boxer hits a guy in the balls, that's a foul. Does it happen? Yes. Is it intentional? No. The guy doesn't go out there saying, I'm going to punch this guy in the ball. No, he throws the punch. These are called fouls. They're a part of every sport. Sometimes when the guy's shooting a free throw, the ref blows, you had your foot on the line. Your toe was on the line when you shot the three. It's not a three, it's a two-pointer. Does that not happen all the time? So what the hell are the fans talking about? The elbows didn't knock him out. Period. You guys are acting like fans in that World Series with Santo Domingo and blaming the entire game on the last pitch. What'd you do for 9 innings? Zurdo, what did you do for 6 rounds? You got your ass whooped. That's it. Ain't no elbows. Ain't none of that shit. Those elbows did not finish him. What finished him was that barrage of punches he was standing there taking. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. David the Monster Benavidez went above and beyond my expectations. Yes, he did. What happened in the fight? Zurdo literally thought he was going to walk through David the Monster Benavidez's power. What was the fight like? What happened? What actually happened in the fight? I'll tell you what actually happened. David the Monster Benavidez and Zurdo went out there, and from the moment that bell rang, Zurdo stood in front of him. It wasn't like Zurdo was a highly skilled dude bobbing and weaving every punch that David the Monster Benavidez was throwing. He was basically catching them all on his high guard going forward. That's all Zurdo Ramirez did. And he tried to catch up to him. And in the fight, he started having success against David the Monster Benavidez. David the Monster Benavidez has proved that his punching power translated. And Zurdo just walked into too many shots. It wasn't like Zurdo was so skilled. He was out maneuvering, using footwork, slipping punches, counter punching David. There was none of that. There was none of that. It was Zurdo right there and David y Tommy Dame. That's what they did. That's exactly what they did. And David the Monster Benavidez showed an output of hand speed for a cruiserweight we haven't seen in quite some times. But boxing fans went and lost their mind. That is the best cruiserweight hand speed I've ever seen. Watch your mouth when Evander Holyfield fought at cruiserweight. Watch your mouth. Don't get all crazy on me. Because Evander was a specimen. That man fought like if you was to design a boxing guy, that's what it would look like. Yo, everything. Evander Holyfield, bro. He had the whole package, the image, the look. He fought like a Rocky movie, like the Russian. Yo, consistent. Fuck out of here. David didn't fight like that. That's what he did. And some great shots. Not degrading his performance because he looked good. He looked amazing. But David beat a guy that was basically walking towards him. That's who he beat. Oh, and by the way, when you start saying David the Monster Benavidez had the biggest challenge, the biggest obstacle, hold on. You fought a 2-division world champion that lost. The guy you fought already lost before you fought him. He's not an undefeated fighter. He's not a pound-for-pound fighter. And neither are you, David. You weren't on the pound-for-pound list coming into this fight. Neither was Zurdo. Zurdo was defeated. Okay? And all he did was come forward. Congratulations for your performance. Congratulations for answering a lot of questions. And congratulations for knocking him the fuck out and bringing us action. That was definitely exciting to see. There you go, David the Monster Benavidez. That's his side. Naoya Inoue and Junto, that was a different fight. Now, although there wasn't a knockout, right? what I witnessed in that Japan fight, that was high skilled boxing at its finest. They literally looked like a mongoose and a cobra. Yo, he wasn't standing there, Junto, coming forward at Naoya anyway. Junto, listen, every punch, every foot placement, everything was strategic. They didn't get away with shit. Naoya Inoue couldn't get away with nothing with Junto. Junto kept that hand. Move. Come up in here, Naoya. Yo, he had to figure it out. And the way that Naoya Inoue switched up his style in the 11th and 12th round, he started going for the uppercut. He was trying to get Naoya Junto like this with that straight, right? But Junto wouldn't bite. Yo, for the first 3 rounds, there was so much respect because they knew they were 2 killers. And at any time, any one of them make a mistake, that's it. Yo, they were playing high stake boxing. And I need to remind you that there were 4 belts on the line, and both of these fighters are on the pound for pound list, both in their prime. How old is Zurdo? How old is Zurdo that David the Monster Benavidez knocked out? Yeah. These guys are in their prime, pound for pound fighters. Oh, and both of them were undefeated. Junto is a 3-division world champion, undefeated. Not like defeated Zurdo that already lost. This is a guy, you're going to have to learn how to beat him for the first time. And some people lost their mind because they got a knockout. Rightfully so. Boxing brought you the violence you pay for. I get it. I had a great time in that David the Monster Benavidez fight. He brought me blood. He brought me a fractured orbital bone, a broken nose. That's what I want to see. But I also am a student of boxing. And I also recognize the difficult levels and what that fight with Junto and Naoya Inoue was supposed to look like. I said it, the fight was going to go 12 rounds. I knew that going into the fight. Listen, they're both too good. You're not just going to knock out Junto. As a matter of fact, no one ever stopped Junto. But somebody beat Zurdo in 12 rounds. They outboxed and beat Zurdo in 12 rounds. Demetrius Bivol. Now, look, did David give you a knockout? Yes. But Naoya Inoue's performance and his difficulty level with the person that was standing in front of him was a lot higher than Zurdo. Junto is way more skilled than Zurdo. And we can't say, you can't use that logic, but these guys are the bigger guys. That logic falls to the wayside when you're saying, how the fuck are they bigger guys if you're fighting guys in your weight division? You moved up to his weight division, you took the fight, and he made weight, you made weight. Junto made weight, Naoya Inoue made weight. They are big guys, Junto and Naoya Inoue. Junto's the biggest guy and the biggest challenge that Naoya had to fight. He might not be the tallest, but he's the most skilled. You understand? These are the bigger guys, the biggest men that Naoya Inoue is fighting. This is his biggest challenge. And you're just going to say, because these guys are taller and they weigh more, then it's no. We have divisions for a reason. You can only judge the fighter for their division and who they're fighting in the same size as them. I can't put Naoya Inoue against David the Monster Benavidez. He'd get killed, right? So you can't view it that way. You have to view it for like boxing. And there's no question in my mind that now Naoya Inoue should get that number one spot. Who can stop him? Just because David the Monster Benavidez beat up Zurdo, that doesn't put you at number one. Shit, that doesn't even pass Shakur Stevenson. Shit, that you don't even pass Bam Rodriguez. Shit, I don't think you pass Junto. I'm not sure. Junto's a 3-division world champion. Even though he lost, he still got 3 divisions. How'd you get your belt, David? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not sure if he passes a lot of these guys. He's not going to pass Usyk. No. David doesn't beat Zurdo and pass Usyk, Shakur Stevenson, fucking Devin Haney, fucking he doesn't pass all those dudes because you beat one guy, Zurdo. You haven't really, and Zurdo was never him. He was never him. I mean, look, Saul Canelo Alvarez dug Zurdo. He also dug David the Monster Benavidez. Because Zurdo wanted to fight with Canelo. Remember that back in the day? So, where does this place David? Does it just get him? Shit, I don't think David the Monster Benavidez should pass fighters like Oscar Collazo and them. Nah, I just don't. They're just more skilled. I mean, David is great. When we're talking about pound for pound, remember we're talking about as a whole fighter, not the most popular fighter. I think that David the Monster Benavidez is soon to be the face of boxing. That's a different title. You could be the face of boxing, but you might not be the top pound for pound fighter. It's very rare when the face of boxing, the pound for pound fighter, and the best in boxing carry all the titles, all those names. Sometimes one guy can have one piece, like Jay Paul and Tank Davis and them, and those kind of guys. Those are the face of boxing, the Ryan Garcias. But Ryan Garcia is not a pound for pound fighter. You see how that can get mixed up? And some fighting fans mix that up. They don't know how to separate it. I always try to educate and tell you guys, bro, the best fighter in the world sometimes is not the best pound for pound fighter in the world, the most popular. Because hands down, Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. He's the best fighter. There's no other fighter that jumped up 2 weight divisions to fight an undisputed champion and beat him. That's the biggest challenge, the biggest risk, the biggest payoff. Until a man can do that, well, then he's the greatest fighter in our era. But the pound for pound is a fighter as a whole. Footwork, ring IQ, everything. Distant management. You don't have to be like superior in them all, but you have to have all of that. And we judge you as a fighter. And what we mean is, like when they made pound for pound up, they were like, pound for pound, this guy could beat the heavyweight champion of the world if he was his size. Why? Because he's way more skilled. He's way more skilled. Pound for pound, this guy holds his weight in gold. That there's no style he can't beat. That's what pound for pound is supposed to describe. It's supposed to describe the men that do it the best. Their adaptability. Their style you can't beat. You can't be a one-dimensional fighter coming out one way. I always scratch my head when they put Errol Spence Jr. on the pound for pound list, because Errol Spence Jr. was an anomaly. You knew exactly what he was going to do. You just couldn't stop him. He beat 99% of everybody he ever faced. He only lost one fight, Errol Spence Jr. Every time Errol Spence Jr. came out, he did the same shit. You just can't stop it. He was relentless. Errol was, I hope, shout out to Errol, man. I hope he has a good comeback against Tim Tszyu. Tough fight. Tough fight, Arrow. Man, Arrow. Hey, shit. I can't tell you nothing. You know, you make your own decisions, man. I just hope you're ready, brother, when you come back. I just hope you're ready. We'll talk about that. But, you know, when it comes to these fighters, Naoya in a way, and like Usyk, fighters like Shakur Stevenson, you know, they want to argue that Shakur Stevenson should be placed higher on the pound for pound list. But Shakur Stevenson, all he did was beat Tio. You can't. Shakur really doesn't have an argument for the pound for pound list. He's got to fight more champions. Naoya in a way fought 17 world champions. You guys do know that in his next fight, he has the potential of beating Robinson for the most titles, undisputed title defenses. So he's about to be the first man in boxing history, the Japanese dude, to beat that record. That record has been standing in the boxing archives, in 80 years or something? He's also the first super bantamweight to ever become undisputed in all of boxing history. This Japanese dude is breaking a lot of big records. A lot. Shakur is nowhere near him in accomplishments. Shakur Stevenson can't. If we were talking about like their runs, you know, Shakur got what he got. He got 4 divisions right now. That's awesome. Naoya Inoue was undisputed in 2 of them. Shakur Stevenson's never been undisputed in no weight division. You know, so you can't do that. Now, skill-wise, pound for pound, Shakur got a good argument. He's got a good argument with just skills. If you look at Shakur Stevenson and you look at the way he fights, the way he adapts, the things that Shakur does, he's a very intelligent fighter. Like all fighters, you know, they have their flaws. Like Naoya Inoue, he has his flaws too. And you look at Shakur Stevenson and skill wise, you got to admit to yourself, then that dude can fucking really box, like real boxing. Shakur's smart. He's smart. He can beat you. It might not look pretty. It might not look as the prettiest, but if Shakur wants to, there's fighters, they might not touch him. It's going to be real hard to, you know, and he's gonna outwork you and outpoint you. He's got a gas tank. He's not going to get tired. Shakur is, and just like Naoya Inoue, you know, I think that they're, as far as skilled, they're probably 2 of the most skilled fighters we have. Their intelligence is up there with fighters like, you know, it's Naoya Inoue, Bam Rodriguez, Shakur Stevenson. Listen, Demetrius Bivol, he's a very smart fighter. You have let's see, as far as real skilled boxing technicians, you know, Terrence Crawford is gone, bro. You can't keep bringing Terrence Crawford in conversations he doesn't want to be a part of, you know, so I'm not going to bring him up. Tank is smart. He's just, I don't know what's up with Tank. I've always said it. I don't think we've seen the best of him. Devin is incredibly skillful. Devin is skillful. He just hasn't put his art together. He hasn't found his identity as a boxer. I think that Devin is like he is a great instrument when it comes to, like, if you had a fighter and you had to start with Devin Haney, not a bad start, huh? Right? But it looks like he's been taught by a lot of different masters. And he goes out there, he knows how to move well. He does what they taught him. He just doesn't flow. Devin. He doesn't, it's like, I don't know. It's like he's fighting in his head like what he thinks they want him to fight like. That's how Devin fights. Devin, it's like that quarterback that's really good but can't call his own plays. The coach is still calling his plays. You understand? He has to get out there and take over and then come back to the coach and tell the coach, like, the coach tell him, okay, now you're doing this a little bit wrong or this. But Devin has to know how to be his own fighter, his own man. He's just doing shit that he was trained to do at a high level, Devin. If you understand that. When I watch him, I could see the skill. I could see the athleticism. I could see, but he just looks like he's doing what, like he's just going through the motions. That's what Devin looks like. It doesn't look like he's coming out there like, I'm fucking Devin Haney. I'm going to whoop your ass, and this is what it's going to look like. Come on, let's go, right? And then, you know how, like, when Tom Brady would come back to the bench, Belichick would ask him, what do you see? Tell me what you see out there. It's like Devin needs to take control of the game. He needs to take control of the game, and he needs to establish himself as a boxer. And that's how I see Devin. I don't see him as a complete package. I see him as a remarkable talent that has all the potential. He just looks rehearsed. When I see him fighting, I'm just like, he looks like, it's like he's not making the decisions. He's doing what they train, which you're supposed to do that, yes. But as a fighter, whatever they teach you to do, use it in your style of fight. Be comfortable. Don't feel robotic. Don't feel pushed. You know what I mean? And when I see Devin, that's kind of like what I see, to tell you the truth. You know, hey, let me catch up to you, Chaz. You know, you guys, I be going and frontline. Yo, I fixed the issue, but he's obviously working right now. So my dude, you know, he's not here right now, and you know how I get. So let me go back up. I probably got a lot of questions that are backed up here. Yo, a game plan. Yeah. The day Devin was himself, he was knocked out by Ryan. No, that was when Devin was the most, he got tricked. He learned a valuable lesson in that day that we can all do as men. Don't read the book by its cover. And to put it mildly, he underestimated Ryan. That's just the truth. When Ryan started riding on white horses, and they in the New York Boxing Athletic Committee pulled him into the office and said, we're about to cancel this fight due to your mental health. And Ryan said, you can't do that. They said, why? Ryan said, because I never actually hurt anyone or hurt myself or said that I was going to hurt anyone. All I'm doing is trolling and capping. And you can't say that. And the New York Boxing Athletic Committee had to sign with Ryan. They said, technically, yeah, he hasn't hurt himself, hurt anyone, threatened anyone. He's just saying wild shit. The kids, they're killing the kids. The fucking God is this and that. Ryan was going crazy. Devin fell asleep, bro. He underestimated Ryan. Devin stopped training, kept going out to the jewelry store, buying more diamonds. Just thought, you heard what Devin said. Follow the clues. What did Devin say leading into the fight? I'm an A plus fighter. You're a C plus fighter. That means that Devin Haney himself was telling you he didn't respect Ryan as a fighter. Then Devin went further and stamped it. What did Devin say next? What did he say? Hey, Ryan Garcia, you're two things. You're a quitter and you only got a left check hook. Because you quit when you took the knee against Devin Haney. Tank Davis, right? So when Ryan quit against Tank, what was Devin saying to the world? What was he saying? All you have is a left check hook. Okay, my brother. Devin fans, the Devin fans, help me please understand this. You had all the answers to the test and you failed the test? You mean to tell me that the first sequence, the first good punch Ryan landed on you was the left check hook that you was telling the entire world that's all you have as a weapon? Devin Haney, can I ask you, what were you working on in training camp? There's two fighters in the ring. I don't care if he was all juiced up, whatever. You were supposed to block the left check hook. You knew all the answers to the test. You knew exactly what he was going to do. And in the first round, in the first sequence, what's he catch you with? A left check hook? Don't sit there and tell me that was the best version of Devin Haney. No. Devin underestimated Ryan. He underestimated his speed and he fell asleep. Devin Haney will never make that mistake again. Ever. He learned a valuable, valuable lesson. Respect your competition. He valued Ryan Garcia as a C plus fighter. C plus fighter. And no matter what happened, the scandal that broke later, listen, let me tell you something. Yeah, you could have the P's. It didn't make Ryan lightning fast. No. Ryan had that same speed against Mario Barrio, won that belt, and they took his blood. So that speed is his. Matter of fact, you fought Ryan 6 times. 6 times in the amateur. You know exactly who Ryan Garcia is, Devin. Devin just, the world, just admit it. Just admit it. Devin slept on Ryan, bro. And if they fight again, Ryan's getting better. Ryan's getting better. That's dangerous. Ryan's a big puncher, right? I think Devin beats him in 12 rounds, though. If they fight again, he's going to beat Ryan in 12. Devin is a smart fighter. Yo, that was a mistake. It was just a mistake. And I'm not going to hold Devin Haney to that fight with Ryan. Do I think Ryan can beat him? Yes. Do I think Devin can beat him? Yes. Shit, they split in the amateurs for a reason. They know each other pretty well. That fight can go any way when it comes to Ryan and Devin because they grew up together. They sparred so many times. They fought so many times already. You know, they're too familiar with each other. That's a dangerous fight because Ryan knows things, intimate things about Devin's boxing ability, and the same thing goes for Devin. It was like when I try to tell you guys about Lamont Roach fighting Tank. I said the only reason why Lamont Roach did that good against Tank because he used to spar against him. He wasn't intimidated of Tank because he knew how to fight Tank. But I told you, the minute you put Lamont Roach against any of the top guys, the bigger guys, he's going to lose. So what they do, they had to put him against Isa Pitbull Cruz. Why? They were basically the same height. But you can't put Lamont Roach against Subriel Matias. He's going to get killed. He's going to get killed. You can't put him against the top 140 pounders. Yo, Mario Barrio is like 6'1". Mario Barrio will beat the shit out of Lamar Roach, bro. I don't think Lamar Roach can do what Tank did to Mario Barrio. No, you're not, because Mario Barrio is not familiar. Lamar Roach is not familiar with Mario Barrio. It's gonna be a tough fight. Lamar Roach knew Tank. He knew he knew how he was gonna step, everything. Didn't you follow the clues when Lamar Roach and Tank fought? What happened? Lamar Roach knew Tank so well that Tank Davis didn't even train with Calvin Ford. He took another coach, hoping that the other coach would change his style so that Lamar Roach wouldn't be familiar with the new version of Tank. Because the version of Tank Davis that was fighting with Calvin Ford, Lamont knew that Tank. Why you think Tank switched up his coach during that fight? That was the reason. They were trying to change a little bit about Tank so that Lamont wasn't so familiar with him. Give him different looks. And once Tank got hit a little hard, he diverted right back to Tank Davis. That is the only reason why Lamont Roach did that good against Tank. You put Lamont Roach in there with Shakur if you want to. Go ahead. Shakur's gonna beat the crap out of Lamont Roach, bro. Lamont can't beat Shakur Stevenson, man. And that's the only guy we really think that can fight Tank Davis. If I'm being honest, I think Lamont Roach stops Pitbull in the rematch, and I think Pitbull destroys Matias. Hell no. Pitbull can't beat Matias. He just can't. He's too small for Matias. Way too small. Hey, yo, that'll be a mega fight. Matias wanted that fight for a long time. He's been asking for that Pitbull smoke for a long time. And Pitbull was smart to avoid Matias because their styles cater each other. They're both coming forward, right? And all of 5'3", he saw Pitbull Cruz against the same version of himself, but bigger. You know how many times I've seen that? Luis Pantera Nari versus Brandon Figueroa. They're the same exact fighter. What was the difference? Brandon had all the attributes. He was taller, longer. He's the same exact fighter as Luis Pantera Nari. Isa Pitbull Cruz is the same fighter as Subriel. Subriel just got the attributes. He's the better version. Who do you think I think is going to win in that fight? Subriel's going to kill him. He's going to beat the shit out of him, bro. Did you see what Gary Antoine Russell Jr. did? Did you guys saw what Jose Valenzuela did to him, right? Jose Valenzuela beat Eastside Pitbull Cruz from pillar to post. Do you really think Jose Valenzuela can beat Subriel Matias? Really? You better rethink that. Subriel Matias will dog walk Jose Valenzuela. He'll make him say no mas. He beat tougher guys on the way to the fight. He come on, guys. Are you guys crazy? Are you guys okay? Yo, let's drink some coffee. Let's drink some coffee, guys. So Eastside Pitbull Cruz gonna beat Subriel Matias. Are you okay? All right. You think just because that white dude knocked out Subriel, remember that's the first time Subriel has ever been knocked down in his career. You know what I'm saying? So when he was stopped on the they gave him, I mean, not stopped, he was stopped by the ref. That's what I was trying to say. He was stopped on the ropes and they gave him a standing 8 count to Subriel. He never actually fell down. You know what I'm saying? So That's why Styles make fights. Gary Antoine Russell Jr. beat the shit out of Jose. You guys seen that shit? How many rounds did Jose Valenzuela actually win in that Gary Antoine Russell Jr. fight? You guys want me to look it up or something? Right? And Jose Valenzuela beat the shit out of Isa. Isa didn't look like he belonged in there. He was struggling the whole fight to try to hit Jose. He looked slower against Jose. He was reaching high. Isa was lost in that fight. Jose walked away clearly with that belt. Like it was a unanimous decision, bro. So I'm not sure about that, but Styles do make fights. I'm just saying the reason why I think Subir beats Isa Pitbull Cruz, and shout out to Isa Pitbull Cruz, man. That's the little engine that can. That motherfucker gets me hyped. Isa, every time he fights for the little guy. You know what I mean? Yo, he's my champion. Isa is the shit, right? I just don't think he beats Subir, man. But, you know, it doesn't take nothing away from Isa, and that was bullshit if you ask me. That's another fighter they should have had on that Mexican Independence weekend. They should have had fighters like Isa Pitbull Cruz on that card, if you ask me. I don't know why didn't they have him on the card. They should have used, as a matter of fact, just thinking about it, they should have put him on the fucking card. You know, rather than Oscar Duarte. Yo, Oscar Duarte got me tight right now. I don't know what to think about that fight, bro. I mean, it's not Oscar Duarte's fault. You know, he went in there and did his job. It just doesn't seem like he punched in at his job the entire fight. But still, he got the victory. That's what the judges say. I feel like Figueroa beat him at every turn in that fight with Oscar Duarte. I felt like he beat him at every turn, and that was it. Pug says, bring Matias to Norfolk. What? Keyshawn Davis. Now that, my boy. Well, Keyshawn's going to fight Albright right now, and I like that fight. Because Albright is basically 2-0 against the Keyshawn Davises, right? I should say the Davises, right? He's 2-0 against them. They don't have a win against Albright. Because as we know, when Keyshawn Davis beat him, he tested positive for marijuana, and they ruled it a no contest. That's not a win. Then he went and beat his older brother. So Albright is winning right now, even though he got jumped in the locker room. Right? Let's not talk about that. That's old news, right? Let's leave that alone. Keyshawn Davis is a changed man. You know what I'm saying? He's a changed man, and he's doing the right thing now. So let's look at things positive. All right? Keyshawn, he just got to get somebody in the ring with him. You know what I'm saying? That is a champion, one of them champions. And the fact that Shakur is still, I don't know how that's, I don't know. I don't even want to bring that shit up. But Keyshawn's on fire right now. You just got to keep that momentum going. You know, go in there and knock Albright out for your family. For putting hands and hooves on your brother, your older brother. You know, you got to go out there. Little brother got to represent. Now, the worst case scenario, Keyshawn goes out there and gets stopped by Albright. Yo, funny shit, right? If we was growing up, we was in the neighborhood, right? I've seen this before. Where you got into a fight with a kid, you beat him up, and he came back with his little brother. You had to go get your little brother? I already beat up Big Bro. And in some cases, remarkably, What up, Frontline? All right. In some cases, remarkably, the little brother is bigger. Is bigger. David the Monster Benavidez and his brother. The older brother is smaller. David the Monster Benavidez will beat up his big brother. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. So he's gonna go get little bro to whoop your ass. Yo, so that's what's going on right now with the Albright situation, right? He done put hands and hooves on Big Bro. Big Bro ran back and got little bro. He said, yo, go straighten this for me. He done put hands on me. Look at my face. Look what he did to my face. Look what he did to my face. Hey, yo, oh my God. Funny. Hey, yo, I'm just gonna throw it in the chat. I'll just have you come up. Oh, hold up. Wait a minute. No, I'm gonna throw it in the WhatsApp chat. That's what I'm gonna do. I thought about that one. Wait a minute. Maybe they might get you again. So we don't want to put up the new one. They gonna get Frontline. I told them messing around with them NOA fans. They want to hear it. But today is the day. You know what today is? The day of reckoning. Frontline's gonna answer to all the fans. All the NOA slander. There it is. I sent it in WhatsApp app. You got it. It's in the app, Frontline. Hit the link. The people inquiring minds want to know. You know what I'm saying? Frontline, get your butt up here. You know what I mean? Yo, Frontline, what was that you said? What was that you said about Naoya Inoue? Huh? Bro, amazing fight with the Japanese card. Oh, great fight. Shout out to his little brother, Chikuma. Yo, that was a good scrap. Great squabble. He did good. He did really good. What's up, bro?
What's happening? Hey, I want to thank PBC for saving Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Oh,
Thanks to David, the real monster Benavidez, for closing out the night with a bang. You know what I'm saying? He didn't leave it into the judge's hand. He didn't fucking spar with his Mexican brethren like fucking Inoue did. You know what I'm saying? It was a
the
straight
hate
up
is
brawl
real.
for the best real monster.
The hate is real. Listen, okay. Before you walk up in here, you know what I mean? Give me read some of the chat. Can you catch up to the chat real quick?
I got you. There's a lot.
Yeah. Where you at? Oh shit. Let's throw this up here. My man with the $5 super chat, first super chat of the day. What's up? Can we get Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin De Los Santos? Keyshawn is ducking that for some reason. Styles make fights. Edwin De Los Santos is the type of fighter that is a big risk, low reward type fight. He's a big puncher. And he definitely knows how to fight. He's a good counter puncher, in fact. He's a better counter puncher. When he fought Shakur Stevenson, that's what happened with Shakur. Recognized that Edwin De Los Santos wasn't doing too much, and he was doing even less. And Edwin De Los Santos just stood disciplined all night, waiting for Shakur to come in, and that was one fighter that got a hairy trigger. His reaction timing, like his twitch muscles, are real snappy. That's where he's the strongest, Edwin De Los Santos. And Shakur read that early. He couldn't take a chance. He caught him with somewhere in that round. He must have caught Shakur with a shot that Shakur was like, fuck that. And Shakur was like, no, you come in. He was like, no, you come in. No, you come in. No, you come in. No, 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 no. Come on, come on, come on. No, no, no. You stay in that. Come on, come on, come on. And that's what they were doing all night. They were trying to frustrate each other. Who makes the mistake first? As soon as Edwin De Los Santos would have broke character, he was going to sleep. Shakur wasn't going to play with him because if he crossed the line first, Shakur was going to hit him with everything he had because that's how dangerous Edwin De Los Santos is. You see what I'm saying? And Shakur Stevenson 100% told Keyshawn Davis, his little Call of Duty buddy, bro, stay away from that man. If you don't have to fight him, if he doesn't become your mandatory, where you're obligated to fight a fighter like that, then just don't fight him. Why should you take that risk? It's kind of like when they said Floyd Mayweather, why don't you fight Paul Williams? Why would he take that kind of risk? He's making millions and millions, and he's an up-and-comer. Do your own shit. Become your own Floyd Mayweather. But you're not going to use it off me because I'm going that way. Sometimes some of these fights, but that's why I admire fighters like David the Monster Benavidez. He's always been chasing some of the top guys. Every guy you can say, this guy avoided me or he was ducking me and you didn't get, so far, every guy that said to David the Monster Benavidez, you're ducking me, avoiding me, he turned around and said, what? Beat the shit out of those dudes. He beat the crap out of them. Yo, shout out to David the Monster Benavidez, man, for really stepping up and giving that kind of performance and giving the Mexican fans a fighter to believe in. That's all they wanted. The Mexican fans, just like any other boxing fans, just like me, we just want to believe in one of our guys. Somebody that's like you. Is that wrong? No. It's pride. And I'm never going to let nobody else make me feel shame for being prideful. I can be pride and respectful. Go ahead, Frontline.
Pug says De Los Santos wanted to keep that fight last year, but his team canceled. His team did him a disservice canceling. De Los Santos not staying at 35 forever either. If they run it back, De Los Santos will still have to fight Keyshawn at 40 or higher. Last year, VA State Commission rehydration cap fight night is 145. I know De Los Santos went to Sufa. That we know. But my question is, didn't he look like shit in that last fight he had in DR?
Who?
De Los Santos.
Oh yeah, he went back to DR. He looked like shit on that card.
He looked
That's the
like he
same
was
fight
on that
card that Mini Pac-Man.
Mini Pac-Man was on. Yeah.
Oh, that he got booed out of the ring.
Yes.
That was the same fight card that when De Los Santos was on,
yep.
right?
On Sean Boxing. Yep.
Right. He didn't look that great there. But when Edwin De Los Santos, I don't read too much into that because he's at home. Too many, he's living the life up there. And the thing is that when he comes to United States, though, he always looked good. Shout out for Edwin De Los Santos for being the professional on that night against Keyshawn Davis. Because although Keyshawn Davis had the belt that night, he was not the professional. So much, in fact, they took his belt, almost put charges on the man, and took away the key from the city. What a fall from greatness on one night.
Hey, but if that's true that Virginia has a 145 rehydration cap on fight night, that might be a good thing. That'll keep boxers and shit disciplined. But 5-pound rehydration clause, that's
in
hard.
Different states, they have different rules. In different states, they don't acknowledge or honor different rules. Like you can go to some countries, they enforce the 3 knockdown rule. And I think they did away with that in boxing, overall. But I hear that in certain places, I forget what cities or countries, they're still implementing it. Then there's the argument with fighters being able to wrap their hands, and in some countries you can put tape on skin. When you go to Las Vegas now, I looked it up, you can't do that. No, you got to put gauze. It's against the law to do that. So you can fight in California, Texas. In Texas, they don't tolerate marijuana. And I think they just overturned it. I'm not sure. I got to go look it back up. I know a lot of states have overturned that. So if you're a boxer and you pee and marijuana comes in, they won't take your fight away like they did to Keyshawn Davis. Because Keyshawn Davis should have that win over Albright. Weed is not a performance enhancement drug, but neither is cocaine. And they still took David the Monster Benavidez' belt now, didn't they? For outside recognition of juice. You are a professional. These are the rules. This is what you signed up for. This
Hey,
is your life. You
Tremble,
gotta
I
play
know
by these rules.
Tremble. I know you're new to the channel. Welcome to the Mama family. But listen, you about to trigger Edwin with that one.
What'd he say?
He said Japan allows you to wrap your hands with crazy shit.
Wait, crazy. Okay. Okay, check it out. Check it out. Sometimes, I hear things and I say to myself, wow, that guy almost said something. Almost said something.
He almost
Almost. It sound like, oh shit, he might be onto something. But and then it only takes me 5 seconds to say, damn, no, he didn't say anything. Why? Because if it was for the fact that they only let the Japanese fighters wrap their hands like that, that would be concerning. But the fact that you both got the right to, where's the disadvantage? If you're both equal, if he can do it, I can do it. So no matter how much he puts on, I can put on that much too. There is no disadvantage by saying that. You go out there, you sign for that, you both use the same system.
it actually
Where's
happened
the
with the Kubo
flaw?
Fulton fight too, right?
Wait a minute. It's not like one guy goes in there with the American way system and they doing it their way. No. You do it the exact same way they're doing it. You have the right. There is no disadvantage. What I'm hitting you with is what you're hitting me with. If we were to switch it to gauze, it would be the same thing. Why? Why do I have evidence? Because Nonito Donari protested that same thing. His logic was, if I would have hit him with that shot, with he had winning boxing gloves. Remember, Nonito Donari had the same tape stack as Naoya anyway. His argument was he was wearing winning boxing gloves. They got more padded and they're designed for big punchers, right? So he said, I want to take away the winning boxing glove and put horsehair Reyes gloves, because if I hit him with a horse glove, right, hair glove, I'm gonna knock him out. The problem was, in his calculation, he didn't calculate. Now you're putting him in horsehair gloves. You're taking away the winning gloves that were padded, that was actually protecting you from some of his punches. He didn't do the math. He forgot to put things into the equation. As soon as Naoya Inoue hit him, boom. He knew he fucked up. Oh shit. I put him in horsehair gloves now. What if he hits me? So when a guy comes up and says, Japan lets you wrap your hands, you almost said something. Almost.
Hey, Travel, you ain't gotta apologize. This channel, you speak freely. Nobody blocks you. None of that shit. You can speak your mind.
I love your questions and keep them coming, brother. Thank you for being on the show.
He said people in Japan, when they take their gloves off, it looks like they got a whole nother knuckle. Chile says,
Stop right there. Stop right there. Please, my boy. Please, my boy. My dude. Just go back to the David the Monster Benavidez fight. After the fight, look at his hand wraps while he's talking on the microphone. Take a picture of it and come back. Matter of fact, read the chat. I'll do that for you. If you're gonna start talking like that, you gotta have something to back it, bro. That no other fighter's doing it. You wanna do this? Okay, hold on. Wait.
I told you, Trevor, you struck a nerve.
Okay, hold on. Whoa. You're gonna start calling my boy a cheater. Hold on, we're gonna do it this time. This is what Trevor wants. This is what Trevor gets.
Yo, Chili says kickboxer rapping style. Shredded glass on the raps. Laughing emoji. Mio.
Shredded glass on the raps, kickboxing style. That Van Damme shit. Yeah. Yo, go ahead.
Mio says there's a disadvantage when one fighter. Damn. Where did it go? Oh, here it goes. There's a disadvantage. One fighter has been rolling like that for the entire career versus the other who just knew it for sure.
What?
He says there is a disadvantage when one fighter has been rolling like that for his entire career versus the other who just knew it for sure. I don't know what he means by that. Tremel says, I heard about that as well. That is facts. They still be using horsehair gloves. I think that's what it is. Max LOL. Carcast says, hey, round one. Shout out to We Fight All Night. David looked like the real pound for pound number one on Saturday, not in a way. Facts. I already said it. The real monster was David, and Inoue is the cookie monster. Hey, Tapia's in the building. Saludos.
You know you're gonna pay for all that shit talking while I was typing with the mic off. You know that I'm over here silent and you're over here talking your shit. You're gonna pay for that with your boy and your little fucking. Don't worry, I got you.
I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, you're reading the chat.
Nothing,
huh?
Let me go back here. Let me see.
Hold up.
Pug says
I gotta answer one thing at a time. Okay, check it out.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna get. I'm gonna pull it up right now. My man. Hold on. Let's go. We here now, right? Here we go. This what do you say?
All right, while you share that, Atopia says Japanese food for choo-choo.
Japanese food?
For shushu.
For shushu, he ain't gonna. The problem is he doesn't know how to use the chopsticks.
That's gonna be takeout for shushu.
He doesn't know how to use chopsticks. Look at David. To my man that said Naoya Inoue's hand wraps look like different knuckles, brother.
Yo, every why you bringing the bullshit? Why you bringing
on the planet? Hand wraps look like that. Don't say these like, hey, frontline, se me calla. Listen, watch. Look at David Monster Benavidez' hand wraps.
Congratulations.
Why are you bringing up bullshit?
175, now 200, the only man to ever do that.
I'm very happy, man. Primeramente, le quiero dar las gracias a toda mi gente, toda mi raza que vinieron a apoyar. Los quiero mucho.
Eso.
Monstro! Zurdo Ramirez, you know.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit. What's that? What is that?
That's gauze.
Look at the size of that shit.
That's all the padding.
Bro, you're gonna sit there and tell me. Anyways, look at this thing. Look at that.
We came up sparring together. I got him ready for all championship fights. He got me ready.
And let's just remember, before you start lying about Naoya Inoue and his hand wraps, right? Let's just remember that the reason why they got the guys in the locker room with the badges now, because of fighters and back in the day, doing such acts like that. If they catch you with illegal hand wrapping, You can be criminally charged. That's assault and battery with a dangerous weapon because you can hurt someone and give them brain damage or something. So when you see that on his knuckles that they got those little, that means that an official went and checked. They were standing right there while you get your hand wrapped. An official always has to be in the room. Now you have the right as the other team. Let's say, for instance, you walk into the locker room and the guy has both hand wraps already wrapped and he's fucking shadow boxing. You have the right to walk in there and say, start over. I wasn't here. I didn't see you wrap those. They got to start over.
Hey,
Then
now to be fair, show Inoue's raps after the fight. Come on,
anyways,
you know how we do. You know how we do here round one.
fair enough.
We
Fair
have to be
enough.
fair both ways.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yo, shout out to Low Nose Boxing in the building. He says David is top 3 pound for pound. Usyk, Inoue, and David.
Hey, yo, Low Nose Boxing is a fucking sucker. Come up here, bro. Come up here, man. I gotta talk to you, bro. I'm a little upset with you. No, hey, stay out of this front line. This is a little bit serious. Nah, cause fuck that, right? Low, we be having our arguments, our debates and shit, Low Nose Boxing, but I don't have a shit on you on nobody else's platform. I don't go around to other platforms saying, did you see round one trying to take over TBV today? I don't do that, Low. Don't come up here, acting like you cool with me and everything, and then going on other platforms, brother. I was watching that live when you put in that text. I was in there, bro. Low, just because I might have said something to you on TBV or some shit, or you fucked up and said some dumb shit, like I'm gonna ask Ness permission, bro. I started capping on you because you knew that was a foul as a man. But Low, you's a real dude. As a man, bro. Like I've never even met you. But just talking straight up boxing shit, Low. Yo, you be thinking that people don't come back and say shit, bro. Low, you be acting two-faced, man. Yeah, you could come up here, you get me on one conversation, I'll get you on one conversation, but I don't be shitting on you on other people's platforms and then walking up on their show acting like they cool. Don't do that, homeboy. Eso es do cara. Read the chat.
People in Japan look like they got on brass knuckles, says Tremel. Let me see. Inoue Shakur Benavidez, top 3. Get on his ass round 1, says Ant. We fight, says Low knows something. Laughing emoji. Round 1 nigga fake. That nigga fake.
He's my dude, bro. He's my dude. I fuck with him, you know what I'm saying? Because we talk boxing and shit. Like, but I'm a real dude, dog. If I, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say what I feel and shit, right? But we had like arguments and debates and shit like that or shit like that. But I'm always gonna respect another boxing fan pugilist. You know what I'm saying? Like, Low, he be in the gym. He be in the gym. He be doing his thing. His credibility is not what I'm questioning here. Even if he's right or wrong on any of his takes, that's not what I'm questioning. He could be right or wrong all day. That's cool with me. Don't be a motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? Like one of them dudes, yeah, that talk about you behind your back when you're not there type shit, bro. I don't fuck with dudes like that, bro. You know what I mean? Like let's not go down that road, Poppy. You a real dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that high school shit, Poppy. We come from you know better than that. You a street dude just like me. You know way better than that, bro. We take that shit personal, bro. Stop. But I fucking love the dude. I won't mind him coming up and through, but I'm not gonna stay shut, man. I had to say something to him. What up? Read the chat, dude. What up?
I got you. We fight, says Inoue raps be thicker, low
What up?
key. Inoue is really another stuff. Benavidez just got his first unification. Anyway, raps be thicker. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because it. I would have to compare him on how he gets him wrapped in Japan versus when he fought in Vegas, like against Caldenas and shit like that. Just to make a comparison, because I don't know if they use the same rules for rapping and shit like that. But yeah, low key on some low key shit. Yeah,
Yo,
and
yo, yo, I'm sorry, I broke it up too. Check this out. Remember when Two Tone went and made that video and he was saying that Terrence Crawford was at the Naoya Inoue fight and that he was falling asleep and that he was so much like not entertained with the fight, right? Okay, check this out. And I told you, he almost said something, right? What he's not adding into the equation that Terrence Crawford has been jumping in and out of flights, flying halfway across the world, and that man's exhausted. Even I was falling asleep in the David Monster Benavidez fight, not because of a lack of action. I had a long fucking day. And no matter how good the action was, I was still going to fall asleep. Now, here's more proof. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone with one video. Check this out.
well, not only that, that picture that they took of
Look, stop. This is what I'm doing. Check it out. Look. This is Naoya Inoue. That's Terrence Crawford. Naoya Inoue fought in Japan on the same day as the David Monster Bennett, and then Terrence Crawford was at that fight. How do you think he got there? Teleported? He got on a plane for a 13-hour ride. Do you understand? This man has been traveling from the U.S. to Japan. 13 hours to be there for Naoya Inoue. After that fight, he's going all the way up to fucking David the Monster Benavidez and them. It's like, look, Terrence Crawford was already doing a lot before this. But another thing is, look at Naoya Inoue's raps. That's what we wanted to do. And because of the fact that Terrence was actually in this picture at the same time.
yeah, but you can't compare them like that because that's before the fight. After the fight is when they sweat, the gauze swells up and shit, flattens out. It does two things at the same time.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh, because after the fight,
because when you're fighting,
so wouldn't that be the fattest?
Right now would be the fattest.
Right.
Because it's untouched, unfiltered.
Yeah, so that would be the fattest right now. Yeah, you're right. Okay, but it doesn't matter.
Junto never traveled a day in his life. That's probably why he don't know shit.
This is a
Charles, maybe the belief.
man Mike Tyson.
I would have to look up one so I can have it right there for him to see his hand wraps. But I try to give you the one that I found right now, and they're the same way. Trust me, they're the same way. The wraps and it's not like Junto was not allowed to wrap his hands the way Naoya Inoue wrapped his hands. They both had the gloves they chose, because you guys know the night before the fight, the trainers, the boxers, they all come down and they put in the request for their gloves and they put them on a table. They have a selection from the manufacturers that are making the gloves that are sponsoring the event. And the fighter will go down to the table and he'll pick gloves that they put on the table. They're brand new in plastic. You take the glove out, you put it on, you go like that. You try on a whole bunch of gloves. You could try on all the gloves on the table if you want. Once you pick a set of gloves, you let the official know, these are the gloves I want. You take them off. They take the gloves from you. The official takes them. They mark, these are the gloves he wants. Boom, boom. They take those. They take the other fighters. The night of the fight, they bring the gloves to you. Your trainer and everybody brings your tape, your gauze, everything you got to bring. The official comes in with the badge. He hands over the gloves to your guy. You sit in the chair. They start doing the procedure. The whole time, they got to watch you. Do you ever notice round by round in a boxing match, there's a person, sometimes it's a girl, sometimes it's a man. They got like a dinner suit jacket on, a smoking jacket type shit jacket on, right? It's usually burgundy. It's usually like a burgundy color. And that person is all up in your grill in your corner. Notice the coach is in front of you, giving you water. Whatever comes your way, that person's like this. They're making sure that they're not putting no rub-on steroid or trying to like give you something to boot. There's cheating going on. You know what I'm saying? So that official watches you. Same thing when you wrap your hands. That dude is like this. Every layer of tape you put on, he's like that.
Hey,
like
Tremel, I got what you said on that
same
comment.
shit.
But you call him anyway. I call him ain't no way. Now, ain't no way. Matter of fact, show Trummer. He's new to the channel. Show Inoue's training video before the fight.
It's not Inoue's training video. You know whose training video that is. Inoue is training Junto. No, stop it.
Show him.
Right?
Hey, and show Trevor the Sufa belt too, since he new to the channel. Show him the belt.
He's Trevor. All right, check it out.
Yeah, he new to the family. We got to put him on game.
Yeah.
And then while you look that up, We Fight All Night says Bud's living the best life. I wonder if he took a private jet. He must have, because to make it to both fights.
No. Stop, guys. Stop. Wonder if he took a private jet. His private jet. Okay. Because he didn't pay for shit.
No,
that was Turkey's private jet. They put him in first class, and he didn't have to pay for a goddamn thing. Everything, when they asked Terrence to go there as an ambassador, he's the guest. Turkey rolled out the red carpet. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, there was 3 of them things in the hotel room. You know what I'm saying? One of them wasn't wearing nothing but her birthday suit while I got there. They rolled out the red carpet for him. Come on, bro. Yeah, private jet plane, yes. For all day. Most expensive for the champion.
Hey,
that's how you treat the champion, bro.
Shout out to Gangsters for God. He said, "Good morning, mi gente. God bless you both. I see no technical difficulties this morning. Watch it, Frontline.
None. Hey, listen. We actually have footage of Junto Nagatani training, live footage, and the guy that's holding the pads is Frontline. If you don't know, he's actually wearing a Naoya Inoue shirt. He's a true Naoya Inoue supporter on the low, but he wants to act like he don't like him. Look at this is Junto
Look at the Cookie Monster. Look at the Cookie Monster.
For Naoya Inoue. Check it out.
Check out his footwork.
Japanese fighters. This is Ain't No Way. Ain't No Way. Don't mistake him with Inoue. This is Ain't No Way. Look at his footwork. Look at those combinations. Deadly repetition. Hey yo. This is, look at the speed. Look at the timing. Look at right here. Look. He's getting serious, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Look at the accuracy. He doesn't miss.
Now watch the footwork. Watch the footwork.
Whoa, he's trying to step back. Yo, that step back is nasty. Look at this. Yo, the pad work is ridiculous. Yo, that is Ain't No Way trained by Frontline. Hey, yo, Frontline. You know what I'm starting to notice about you, Frontline?
Oh, God.
You know what I notice about you?
Here we go.
Your name is Frontline because you're an habitual line stepper. You cross the line all the time, bro.
I create the line.
Nah, you're an habitual line stepper, bro. That's what you are. Yo, your name suits you well. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
Yo, that footwork crazy, right, Bobby?
That's footwork. That is keen footwork. Amazing. Yo.
We Fight All Night says Inoue is good, but he fighting in the G League.
Inoue's good. He's fighting in the G to shut up.
I don't think nobody's cheating in Japan. It's still a natural boxing league. It's just people trying to get advantage, and I think Inoue hand wraps gives him that.
Well, I don't think it's an advantage because the other guy gets to do it, right? And then when people try to debunk that theory, remember, he came out to Las Vegas, still stopped Roman Cardenas. He still knocked out Stephen Kubo Fulton, rapped the way the Americans rap it. Remember, when he fought Stephen Kubo Fulton in Japan, that was Stephen Kubo Fulton's team's argument. So what did Naoya Inoue did? He told them, show me how you would like me to wrap my hands so that I can please you. And they wrapped Naoya Inoue's hands the way that Stephen Kubo's coach suggested. He did just that. Stephen Kubo Fulton didn't win 30 seconds in no round and got brutally knocked out. So that debunks your theory that it's all hand wraps. You know, this is a man that comes from the amateurs, Naoya Inoue. They have been checking his hand wraps for decades. No one believes the punching power he has. That's the one, he's one of the most athletes that were like, yo, we got to see those gloves. Those fucking punches sound like shotgun punches. And every single time the coach went back to the locker room and said, yo, congratulations, respect, you're a real dude. You think that they don't cut those hand wraps off after every match? They must be inspected. If there is any foul play detected, criminal charges will be filed. This is not something that just gets swept under the rug anymore. That's why Devin was going to take this dude to court. Ryan Garcia.
How much money's behind it, Edwin? Come on, let's keep it a buck.
What do you mean? What money behind what? What are you talking about?
If there was foul play, I'm not saying there is, but I'm saying if there was foul play, the right person's pocket gets greased.
Stop it.
That should have never come to fruition. You know that.
Oh, stop it. You see what you... don't start spreading your lies, bro. What do you think this is? Fucking the 1970s? Yeah, right.
Pug says Fulton is still Inoue's best win. Fulton fought Inoue after beating Figueroa and Angelo Leo.
Yes. And I don't think it's his best win. Fulton's not his best win. I think that Junto is actually his best win. You know what I'm saying? Now that he beat Junto, unless you were talking before that, I'll give you that much.
Hey, let me ask you this.
Now is the best win. He was a 3-division world champion, undefeated. And Junto is also a unified, as well as Stephen Kubo Fulton. So I think Junto might be the bigger. And then remember, Nonito Donari is a 4-division world champion, surefire Hall of Famer. So, and Junto's going to the Hall of Fame. Nonito Donari is going to the Hall of Fame. And how many Hall of Fame fighters has Shakur Stevenson ever fought? I'll wait.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
How many Hall of Fame fighters has Shakur Stevenson fought? I'll wait. I'll be right here. How many guys can you actually say that they are fighting actually Hall of Fame fighters? You understand? There's not a lot. Tank Davis only fought Leo Santa Cruz. That's the only guy I see on his resume going to the Hall of Fame. Only one.
No, Tank Davis?
Tank Davis fought Leo. Leo's going to Hall of Fame for them 3 divisions, bro. And that running.
Yo, he fought Mario Barrios.
Mario Barrios not going to Hall of Fame.
He fought Pedraza.
He's not going to the Hall of Fame neither.
Let me see who else he fought. Frank the Ghost Martin.
He's not going to the Hall of Fame neither.
Ryan Garcia?
Not yet. Maybe. But yeah, there's not a lot of fighters with resumes like that. Before you start,
he fought Jamal Herring.
This frontline is best that you just stop talking right now. Okay, stop.
I'm reading the chat. Oscar Valdez.
No, Oscar Valdez. That's an iffy one. Well, wait a minute. Oscar Valdez. He never fought Oscar Valdez.
Who? Shakur? Yes, he did, and he
No,
dropped him.
Tank. We were talking about Tank. Stay on one fighter.
Oh, Tank. Okay.
We were
You're right.
talking
You're right.
about Tank here.
You're
Don't
right.
jump. Don't do that to me.
You right. I'm
Like,
reading the chat. That's why I'm
okay.
getting confused.
Okay.
Yo, but
Oscar
listen, I
Valdez
know.
for Shakur. I don't know if Oscar Valdez is gonna make it. I'm not sure.
Yo, Edwin, I know you don't like talking fantasy fights. I know you don't like talking it unless it's official. But it's being rumored. It's being rumored in January. Turkey is funding the Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez fight.
I heard about
That's
that
what's
this morning.
circulating. And I
I
know you don't
heard.
like speculating, but that's
Yeah.
what's circulating. And what are your thoughts?
Um.
I
My.
think I think Bam deletes Inoue.
You think everybody deletes anyway. That's why
Wait
you
till he
don't know how
gets
to
to
pick a winner.
26. Junto
Yo,
gonna
it's
delete
well
him.
known fact here at Round One Sports Talk. My co-host is a blatant anyway hater, and I still love him, but still, he is a hater. Now, I put out a video. I said, Frontline, you were wrong about this guy, the last guy he fought, and the guy after that. And no sooner did I not say, once they mention another name, here we go again. This guy is going to beat Naoya in a way. It's the same broken record with this guy. Look, if Bam takes the fight, rightfully so, he should. You don't get this far in your career and not recognize your opportunities. We're called prize fighters for a reason. Bam Rodriguez is a prize fighter. He sells tickets. Okay? So Bam Rodriguez needs to understand that you don't take all these punches to the face for nothing. You got a family, you got a future. And that fight right there makes dollars and cents. For God's sake, he just sold 60,000 in the Tokyo Arena. There's no other fight Bam Rodriguez should be taking.
55,000. Don't add extra seating for
They
fucking
added
Inoue.
extra seating because it was so sold out. Keep up. And they passed the 55,000. They might have not hit 60,
It only
but
sits
they were
55.
they were right there to almost 60. So
No
listen,
way. You're counting the concession stand people. You're counting the fucking commission.
no,
We're talking about fans. 55,000 is what
there's
seats in there.
55,000, and then they busted out the extra seating. That's what they did. They always have backup seating.
Edwin,
Okay?
if the dome holds 55,000, where in the fuck are you gonna get extra seating from?
Okay, check it out. Same thing you do. Okay, wait.
You're gonna lap
Okay,
sit them? You're gonna sit them on your lap?
almost. Front line.
I almost said something.
Almost said something. Almost. You want to do this right now? We can do this right now.
We have
For
to.
instance,
The people want to know where are you gonna
for
get
instance,
these extra
okay. Oh my God, check this out. For instance, let's say New York City, Madison Square Garden. Okay, everybody knows this, right? In Madison Square Garden, the max capacity would be, I don't know, let's just say 21. But if the concert sells out and it gets packed, it turns into 25. Boston Garden does the same thing. Whenever an event comes, the maximum capacity is this to sit that much. When they got to stretch everything and make more room for seating, they can. They'll stretch it out. That Tokyo Arena will sit comfortably 55,000. But if you want us to bust out the extra rows, they're going to bust out the extra rows. They're going to take the seats and put them right in the aisle, going straight right and making another row. There's another 75 seats right there, another 75 there, another 70, and go all the way around. They do that at every event.
I get what you're saying, because if you think about it, like in a restaurant, the max capacity, let's say, it's 155 people.
Right.
There's plenty of room to seat more people. Of course.
Yes.
I get that.
Every business does that.
But if there's a max capacity,
Matter of fact, we're going to look up the numbers right now.
But if there's a max capacity, there's a max capacity for a reason.
You just contradicted everything you just said.
No, I get what you're saying.
Shut up.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is,
What you're
if there's
saying
a
is you're
max
going to argue for the
capacity,
sake of arguing. I
that's
get it,
it.
Frontline. Are you in an argumentative mood
Look,
today?
no, no, no,
Isn't
no,
that
no.
time of month
I think
on
I'm getting the
Naoya in a way? Yes, I
shrimp
think
out
it
of you.
is.
I'm getting
Yo.
the shrimp, the allergic reaction to shrimp right now.
Yo.
But listen, no, all jokes aside, though, seriously, Bam needs to get a fight in at 22 before he fights Inoue, in my opinion, to get acclimated to the weight class. If not, Shushu is more than willing to welcome Inoue at 126.
Listen, your boy Shushu
Shushu's
is.
gonna Shushu's gonna stop
You
Inoue.
want to know something? I bet you on the day that Naoya Inoue announces that he's going to move up to 126, Shushu Carrington is going to get a case of the high duck ankle sprain, right? It's going to be real high on his ankle, right? Hey, oh, shit. Guess what? Yo, you know
You,
what?
you almost said something, Edwin.
As a
You
matter of fact,
almost said
as
something.
a matter of
Almost.
fact, Naoya Inoue, I can't fight you right now. Why? I'm having hemorrhoid surgery this month, and my dog. I have to walk my dog. You know what I'm saying? I haven't walked my dog in a long time. I have things to do, bro. I'm really busy. You know what I mean? It's gonna be everything but let's fight. Watch. Let me tell you something about.
Nah.
Let me listen. Let me tell you something about fucking real shit. A lot of motherfuckers can talk shit behind a microphone. But when I see you face to face, that shit changes. That shit'll change, bro. I guarantee you. Some people keep the same energy. They about that life. Not everybody, I'm not saying everybody backs down. Hell no. They about that life. They gonna keep that same energy. But when Jerron Boots Ennis was talking hella shit to the champion, Terrence Crawford, what happened the day Terrence Crawford walked by him and the world was watching and everybody was recording? That motherfucker was quieter than a church mouse. Jerron Boots Ennis was on his phone like this. Hi, champ. Hi. You had a lot to say about me. Terrence walked by like a real one. Terrence was like this. Terrence was like, and his presence, he ain't got to talk shit.
Hey, Fee got
Terrence is
jokes today.
about that life. He was
Hey,
like,
Fee got jokes today. Says
yo,
it's Bruce Sushi.
it's
Sushi
Bruce
Carrington
Sushi.
after Monster
I
deals with
like
him.
that name. It's got a ring to it. It's got a kind of like a ring. You know? Yo,
Bruce is gonna say in a way. No, he's gonna say Naoya ain't no way beating me.
I
That's
feel
what he's
like
gonna say.
what do you say?
I feel like the Bam Rodriguez got the same power as Inoue. He don't care about no hand wraps. He said he willing to go to Japan.
Yeah, and check it out. Japan's where the money's at, guys. That's why Stephen Kubo Fulton went to Japan. He's no fool.
That's why
He what
Chulo goes to Japan.
they
That's why.
weren't gonna pull that kind of money in the US for these little guys. You gotta understand, these guys are 126 and down. America really everything is bigger in America. We want bigger watches, bigger chains, bigger asses, bigger you know what I'm saying? Everything is bigger. The big man does not respect the little man. The
Where's the
little man
truth about
always got to
Edwin?
do twice as hard.
Where's the truth
Listen,
about?
in fact, just to prove that all the money's out there, where you think Luis Pantera Nari and John Casimiro is fighting? Luis Pantera Nari is Mexican. John Casimiro is Filipino. Why they ain't fighting in the Philippines? Why they ain't fighting in fucking California? You know where they're fighting? In Japan. In Japan. That's where the money's at.
Well, that's where they're
Japan
making
is
the
like
card
Las
at, Edwin.
Vegas for those bantamweight dudes. Right now, Japan's on fire. What's
Yeah,
up, Ed?
that's why Oscar Collazo has never done a main event here in the States. He's
No,
always going overseas because
that's Vegas
that's where
for
it
those
sells.
little guys. You know why? Because of one fighter in particular, Naoya Inoue, the monster. The real monster. Yo, listen,
The Cookie Monster. I got you.
what he did was some Michael Jordan shit. Who the hell was the Chicago Bulls before MJ? Who? MJ, that's why I love MJ. Because MJ took a team that was nowhere and he brought them to the promised land. That's a real dude right there. He did that for Chicago. Naoya Inoue took the bantamweight, all the bantamweight divisions, and raised it up. The reason why you know fighters like Bam Rodriguez is because of Naoya Inoue.
You
The
almost
reason
said
why you know
something,
of
Edwin.
Junto is because of Naoya Inoue.
You almost said something.
The
Almost.
reason why you did all listen, there is no reason why we would know any of these fighters if it's the only fight in the bantamweight division is Naoya Inoue. Name me one bantamweight fighter that's getting paid over $1 million for his fights.
I'll wait.
The only way you're making that money, Stephen Kubo Fulton made his biggest payday fighting who? Naoya Inoue. Everybody made their biggest payday fighting who? Naoya Inoue. He's the money train. He's Saul Canelo Alvarez. He's Tank Davis. He's Ryan Garcia, all wrapped into one. And although they don't want to give him his credit because of the bigger man complex, the glamour divisions, it's no secret. The glamour divisions are from 130, 135, 140, 147, 154, and the heavyweight division.
Hey, what do you think
The
about
most
what We Fight
watched
says?
divisions.
We Fight says Inoue Nakatani only did 500K buys. I'm sure if he fought Bam in Vegas, it does more buys.
It could, but Bam, listen, like for instance,
I think the reason why it did so low and the Bam fight in Vegas would do better is because of the time schedule. We're not
yeah,
getting up at 5 a.m. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think that definitely hurt it. Yeah, you're right. That definitely hurts the viewing audience at that early in the morning.
Yeah.
But you put that fight in Vegas with Bam Rodriguez, it's gonna make a lot of more views as in pay-per-view buys. But I'm not sure if you make enough money at the door like you would in Japan.
You would. You know why? Because you got to learn how to. You would have to stack your card the right way to make it make sense.
Yeah, well, maybe now his star power is getting even that much more, and a fight with Bam will be more viewable here in America because Bam Rodriguez is an American fighter, an American Mexican. So he's viewed in America. They know him. The Americans know him, and the Mexicans know him. So, yeah, interesting situation. I don't know how they'll play that out, but as of right now, everybody that fights Naoya Inoue is saving Bruce Carrington's life. Because everybody that steps in front of the bullet for Bruce Carrington, that way he can hide more at 126. Because he don't want that smoke. He knows he don't want that smoke. And Frontline knows it. You know what I'm saying? So
wait, who don't want the smoke?
What do you mean who? You sound like an owl.
Who?
You know what I'm saying? Who?
Yo, who don't want the smoke though?
Yeah, who? That we're gonna call Frontline who owl. You know what I'm saying? The who owl Frontline.
Shushu's welcoming. Shushu's welcoming in the way to 26. What
welcoming.
Are you talking about?
Don't you believe it?
Listen, guys. Remember one thing.
Hey yo, hold up. You act like a fighter never trolled a cat before. What did Richard Hitchens say about every fighter out there? What did Teofimo Lopez say about every fighter? Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I've seen that before.
Listen,
you almost said something.
You're talking about a duck. You're talking about a duck.
Who's a duck? Who's a duck?
Hitchens. You're talking about a duck.
That's your brother-in-law. You know what I'm saying? You introduced him to your sister. Stop playing. Your family. You know what I'm saying?
We got the vaccine for ducks over here.
Yo. Read the chat. Catch up to the chat, brother.
Let me see. Pug says Finito Lopez the first, and Japan adores Finito Lopez. Tremel says Bam Rodriguez made his own lane in America. The Latino and African American community love him. He's levels above Inoue in America. If they fight in, we fight all night. Says if they fight in Japan, USA ain't buying into that. Only hardcore fans. Pug says Inoue Nakatani was included in the Zone Ultimate or regular question.
Yes. Yes,
Clarissa
it
says
was.
people outside of hardcores, no one knows Inoue here. We fight all
Everybody
night.
knows anyway here. I'm sorry. A lot of people. Listen, if no one listen, I'm gonna debunk all that bullshit. That's what they trying to tell you. Why don't you guys go back and look at my channel? Just look at my views, my channels. Bro, I got almost 12,000 live views with Naoya Inoue. What are you guys talking about? What is that guy talking about? Just him. No one knows Naoya. No, the world is starting to wake up. The last stream that I did with Naoya Inoue, I got 14,000 live views. Over 300 likes. What are you there is no fighter I have streamed. Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, all of them has never viewed me for 14,000. So what is this guy talking about? Carry on. Please read the chat.
Wait, where did I leave off? Oh, okay, here we go. I think if Bam fights Inoue in Japan, it does. Okay, I read that. When it comes to small man, Bam Rodriguez runs America. I read that. Dixon Bitchins, that says Pug. Damn, why is it jumping like that? Oh, here we go. I'm sure Shushu would fight anyway. It will be a great match. Us Towers, we fight all night. That's what's wrong with New York. We never back our own city.
Yeah.
Dixon Bitchins, talking about Richardson Hitchens. Oscar put on that Joker face, had African scared. Listen, Africa was scared like a motherfucker with Oscar Duarte.
Yo,
You
when Oscar
pussy. When he
Duarte
said
did
you a
that Joker
pussy,
face, that
you a pussy.
he smiled like a sinister killer. Yo, fucking Richard hit the stage left.
He caught
He
the duck
the
flew
fire.
quick. He caught that duck flew quick.
What'd he get? A high duck sprain
Yeah,
ankle?
he got the duck. He got that. Yo, shout out to All Facts for that one. That shit had me in tears. Tower says Mayo, el mes de los monstruos, all monsters.
Yo, listen.
Precise
Yep, go ahead.
says people don't know Inoue. Carcast, haha. YouTube isn't just USA. Says we fight.
Yeah.
Hardcores know Inoue here. Go outside and ask anyone if they know Inoue. Says Clarissa. Shushu will throw down. Says Carcast. Boots stepped into war and covered up quick. Says Carcast. Tremble says he put on that baby Joker Joker face. Africa pulled right out. I think he meant poker face. That's all they boots became chancletas.
Chancletas. Yo, Boots' name is Chancletas now.
Hey, you got to be careful, Chicago Kills, because your peoples are already claiming them for the Zayas fight. Y'all
Yo, check
claiming
this
them
out.
as
Check this out.
botas.
Let's talk about that for a second right now. That Xander and Jerron Busen and shit. Yo, Puerto Rico, stand up. Don't mira. Believe in Xander, guys. Believe in Xander. There's even Puerto Rican channels out there and Puerto Rican dudes. And shout out to you guys for speaking your mind, and your real truth and what you believe. But what I'm saying here is this. I saw this. I don't want to, say his channel or nothing or their names because I'm not personally taking a shot at how they feel. They have all the right to break down the fight the way they see it. That's their opinion. I have my own opinion. But what I'm saying is what they said was that the reason why Xander has no chance, and they gave Xander, and I mean no chance, zero. They said zero. Actually, they actually said that he can beat Jerron Butenis. He said, why? Why do you say that? He said, because on the night that Edgar Berlanga fought Saul Canelo Alvarez, he showed the world there's levels to this. Xander is good. He's just not on Boots' level. That's what he's saying. And I thought that was a poor depiction or explanation on why Xander should lose. I thought that was a real poor analogy. And once that gentleman said that, I knew where his boxing mind was. That he could not identify levels himself. He could only say the word level. He doesn't understand levels. Meaning, if he understood levels in boxing, he would know that Xander was on a higher level than Edgar Berlanga going into the fight with Canelo Alvarez. Edgar Berlanga was way greener than Xander going into the Joanne Bucenis. He acts like Xander was gifted 2 belts and that he got to the belts first type shit. That's his analogy. He's not accepting how Xander got the belts. He beat Chino Perez, that beat Conwell, the number 1. And then he fought Abbas Baru, that's a world champion. That's 2. When these guys break down their assessments, they talk with too much passion and they don't actually do breakdown analysis. You know why? Because they're not fighters. They're just conversationalists. They just want to have a conversation with the fans and give their opinion. They're entitled to do that. They're in the right. But their breakdown was flawed. Your comparison of the two, that's not a good comparison.
They're not taking nothing in consideration.
Nothing to consideration. Xander Zayas is way more fundamentally solid, has better offense, better footwork than Edgar Berlanga going into that fight with Saul. Edgar Berlanga got rushed to the top. He went from down here to the fucking biggest fight of his career for 4 belts. They rushed him in there to get beat up by Canelo. He was a sacrificial lamb. He was way out of his league. That's not the Xander Boots situation. In fact, hold on. In fact, the Puerto Rican dudes that were shitting all over Xander, that were talking about this shit, in fact, they never broke down or talked how defensively, fundamentally flawed Jaron Boots and his fighting skill actually is. You do know that Jaron Boots Ennis's main entry is 1 move. Level change. A level change. He level changes, snaps the jab, comes around the fighter, or he level changes and comes forward. That's what he does. And he crosswalks to the guy. He makes horrible fundamental decisions staying in the pocket. Jaron Boots Ennis, his fighting style, I'm telling you, you know what's wrong with Jaron Boots Ennis and a lot of the fans? They can't get over the fact of his flashiness, his athletic ability.
Exactly.
They can't get over that. They think they're confusing that with real boxing. Xander, he's not a flashy guy. He's like a throwback fighter, right? He does everything, like tries to do it the correct way. Like Xander, he's starting to learn his identity as a fighter too as well. Like Devin, like I talked about. Xander is kind of like in that weird place too. But Ja,
and all you Boots fans, keep thinking that Xander ain't got no power. Keep thinking that.
No. Look. I just think, look, Xander could lose this fight, rightfully so. I'm not saying all this, that this spells a recipe for Xander beating Jaron Boots Ennis, but at least I'm alerting the fans of what's actually on the line here and at stake, and what you, just in case you want to put your hard-earned dollar on this fight. Like, remember, I don't gamble. So I'm never pissed off if one guy loses or wins because I lost my money. The next day, these guys hop on and they got all the excuses in the world. Why? You lost money. You're emotional. Take your gambling ass over there. See, I have no ties to none of this, but I'm smart enough to identify, wait a minute. That's a poor description. You're taking two, and by the way, Jaron Boots Ennis is no Saul Canelo Alvarez. Just because Terrence Crawford beat Canelo, that doesn't mean Jerron Buchanan can do that. I hope that you guys are not thinking like that. Just because one guy did it doesn't mean another black American fighter can do it. Just because he's flashy. If that was true, Jamel Charlo should have beat Canelo Alvarez. Now, shouldn't he have?
Yo, you ready for this one, Edwin?
Bro, these guys are the way they think. Small.
I was in a group. I was in a live chat yesterday. I'm not gonna say the name of the channel, but someone in the channel told me Philly fighters. I mean, no, he said, you know what Philly fighters do to Puerto Rico, which I know what he meant by that. He was talking about B-Hop and Trinidad.
Okay.
I told him, I said, you almost said something.
Almost.
That being said,
that's wait. Did you not recognize off rip that David Garcia is Puerto Rican from Philly?
Danny Garcia.
Yeah, Danny Garcia is Puerto Rican from Philly.
Right.
So how is it that the Philly dudes are all black that beat up Puerto Rico if one of your best fighters is actually Puerto Rican?
And the other dog from
Come
Philly,
on, bro. Make it make sense, bro.
Gabe Rosado's from Philly. He's not.
But he was never a world champion. He didn't do enough like Garcia. He was never a world. He was a dog. No. But one of your best fighters with more accomplished is a Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about that Philly shit, bro. Man. Yo, just keep reading the chat, bro. Yo, Frontline, don't let these Jews take it. I wish I was there. What are you talking about?
No, because he asked me, remember what happened with the Philly fighter versus Puerto Rico? And
yeah, he's trying to act like the dudes is all brothers and they whoop on Puerto Rican fighters from Philly.
I remember the day that...
How you going to say that when one of your best fighters is Puerto Rican? Shut the fuck up, bro.
What I told him was, I remember the day that B-Hop had to hire private security to get escorted out of Puerto Rico for disrespecting the Puerto Rican flag.
He didn't have to hire private security. They ordered it. He was a dead man. They flew him out of Puerto Rico in a helicopter.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That man was, look, once once he did that, the people that were there were shocked. They started calling their primos. Did you see that, Primo? Guess who Primo is? A somebody in Puerto Rico. Primo loaded up the trucks with the homeboys and they got the call. Yo, the cops couldn't stop them. The cops couldn't stop them. There was too many of them. Yo, them Puerto Ricans was coming down on them motherfucking Hayabusas. They were like, oh, yo, they were flying.
All that shit.
They were flying. They weren't even hiding their guns. They had their guns on their back with a strap. There was no playing with fucking B-Hop. Yo, they flew B-Hop. Yo, B almost got killed that day, bro. They flew him out of there in a helicopter. Them boys was coming. What the fuck he do? Let's go. Yo, it was crazy. They knew they had a matter of time, a window. Once B-Hop lost his mind and did that, because B-Hop did a lot of stupid shit. He said, I ain't going to lose to this white boy, and got dog walked. B.I. was in some controversial shit. I ain't never losing to a white boy. Wiped them down, bro. I was like, yo, B.I., bro.
You know what's crazy, though, Edwin?
I was like, damn, my dude.
In today's society, if B-Hop would have said that shit, they probably would have tried to cancel him, because people nowadays
they would have canceled him for that. And then today's era, they would have canceled my fucking legend, Mike Tyson. I don't give a fuck. Mike Tyson can say whatever the fuck he wants. Anything he says, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Mike Tyson said to the dude said, put him in a straitjacket. And Mike Tyson was like, I'm going to fuck you until you love me. Remember that? Yo, man, fuck that. Mike Tyson's my fucking hero. He's my idol.
Our era is built different, Edwin.
Nah, Mike Tyson's he's always been my best fucking. It's just Mike Tyson. I was in a different era. Mike Tyson does no fucking wrong. I don't care. He never did anything wrong in his life. He's a saint. All right. Yo, I'm a little biased when it comes to Mike.
We fight all night. Boots versus Xanders won't be close.
Booth Xander won't be close. Look, man, look. Let me tell you something right now. Even if it might turn out that way, respect is given to the young man Xander. He took this fight. Remember, your Jaron Boots Ennis would never be fighting for 2 belts had it not been for Xander. Jaron Boots Ennis himself said, no, you could have fought anyone else. You did not have to take this fight. Meaning, Jaron Boots Ennis had no leverage to order him to fight him. Okay? Because as we all know,
mandatory or nothing.
No, he wasn't nothing because where Jaron Boots Ennis realized his mistake, where he fucked up was, Jaron Boots Ennis fucked up when he got the interim belt. As we all know, no interim champion or no champion has an obligation to be a mandatory to that other one. Not unless the organization backs it. If the organization orders it, you're fucked. You got to fight that guy. They're going to take the belt from you. But you only are obligated to the guys in the ranking system. You notice how Zurdo Ramirez lost the fight to David the Monster Benavidez? Zurdo's nowhere in the ranking system. Now, is he? He's not in no ranking system. Until they go back and rank him, he'll be on in the next day. Right? Okay. So Jaron Boots Ennis would have been fighting somebody else. If you guys are talking like Xander Zayas doesn't have a shot in the world in his fight, you're talking like he was forced into the fight. Yeah. You're talking like he was pressured. Remember, he asked for the smoke. They say, Xander, who do you want to fight? Oh, did that negotiation fall out between Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Boots Ennis? He said, yeah. He tapped him on the shoulder. Hey, Jaron, yeah, what are you doing, buddy? You want a shot at 2 belts? Yeah?
Starstruck.
Yeah? He can't believe Xander standing in front of his face. I said, yeah, I'll fight you.
Well, Xander made it clear in the interview that they asked him, why did you take this Boots fight? He said, because
I want to challenge myself.
No, Boots is claiming he's the best at 154. And he's like, and I disagree. I'm the best at 154.
I'm the best at 154.
And I'm going to prove it.
And then he said, yeah. Oh, and by the way, Xander also says something very important. They said, Xander, why didn't you give him 25%? Like you should have. Xander said, yes, I could have did that. I could have took 75 and gave Jaron Boots Ennis 25%. Jaron Boots Ennis has nothing on me. He doesn't have ticket sales on me. He doesn't have 2 belts. He brings nothing but his name and the fact that he wants to fight me to the table. That is all Jaron Boots Ennis brought to the table. You know what Xander said? I'm not going to play around with Jaron Boots Ennis. I'm going to make him an offer one time, 50-50. That way you can't say nothing and I can't say nothing. Everything we split, what a man. What a gentleman.
And Boots is still not happy. He wants 55-45.
And he's still not happy. He still wants to, hey, why don't we put a side wager? Why do you take 55-45 if you're so confident? Motherfucker, shut the fuck up and be thanking me that I'm giving you an opportunity. You disloyal, ungrateful. Bro, I gave you a shot at my belts.
Xander said, nah, just take the 50 and feed your family and feed your team.
That's it. Listen, Xander could have negotiated. Xander would have obviously been the A side and he would have got more money, more belts. Xander could have even said, you know what? Even if you want a shot at these belts, you're going to have to fight me in Puerto Rico. You're going to have to fight me in Puerto Rico. Xander, bro, every move he made, he tried to make it even. Philadelphia is right there to New York. And Puerto Rico is New York's a little Puerto Rico. How much fairer could you make it for this guy? And he gave him 50-50 and a shot at his 2 belts. But yet somehow, Xander is scared. Somehow Xander's going to get his ass whooped. Somehow apparently the only reason why we're here because Xander really think he could beat him.
Hey,
Now,
Pucks,
I
that
don't
sound
know if he can
interesting.
beat him, but apparently, yo, stop talking like Xander. Listen, I
Yo,
think a lot of you guys are going to get a rude awakening. Watch.
Pucks, that sound interesting. Xander, a popular defending two-belt champ underdog. Boots, a popular challenger and favorite. Expect a draw. I think he's
Possibilities there.
I
The
think he's talking
possibilities
about
there.
the money behind it in Vegas. I think that's what he's referring to. And the possibility definitely is there, but how do you live curiously through who, Edwin?
I live vicariously through Frontline
On the
for the
bias
Puerto
shit.
Rican guys.
Listen, if you got that flag, papa, that's who I'm
Frontline
riding with.
represents all day. That's why I got him up here.
That's
Yo, but listen, just like, look, well, I don't know how you guys view the fight with Junto Nakatani and Naoya Inoue, but I thought that the fight cards were read off right. 116, what was it, 116, 112, that's 4 rounds. Two judges had it for Naoya Inoue. They had him up by 4. And one judge had him up by 2 rounds.
wait a second.
Like
Is
that.
this the same Inoue that you claim never loses a round?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
Well, no, 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 no,
this is the
no.
same Inoue we
Hey,
talking about.
don't,
Hey,
don't, don't,
shout
don't.
out to Jason. Jason's in the building. He says Xander's definitely the A side, and then we fight on it. He says that's cute, but this fight won't be close. Speed kills.
Okay, stop. Okay, who said that? And Xander? I mean, who's the A side? They said.
Xander's definitely the A side.
Oh,
Says
okay.
Jason.
Yes, he is.
And then we
Yes,
fight
he
said
is.
that's cute, but the fight won't be close. Speed kills.
Speed kills, huh? You must have not fought with any fighter that knows how to notify speed. I'm just saying. Xander fought against Abbas Baru, that's pretty decently boxing fast. Xander has fought his share of, I would say, good speed guys, decent speed. I think that what made Chino hit was his awkwardness, not that he was slow. I don't think that Chino was slow. I think that he was awkward. Xander beat a lot of Mexicans that were decently fast. I think that, look, yeah, there's going to be a point where Jaron Boots Ennis is going to come in with the speed, and this could be really bad for Xander. Jaron Boots Ennis has the capability of going in there, but I just think that, he could beat, Jaron Boots Ennis could beat him. He could even be the first man to even, in fact, stop Xander. There's no shame in this. This is boxing. The fact that the young man took the opportunity, he said, wait a minute, Jaron Boots Ennis, that's a good scalp. Either way, Jaron Boots Ennis he's been in a fucking fucked up situation. He's been waiting to show the world that he's that next star. He just hasn't gotten those fights. And look at this you mean to tell me that Jaron Boots Ennis is going on almost headed towards 30 years old, right? And he has over 30 professional fights, right? Your entire career is based on a 23-year-old? Your entire career to this moment led you to a kid that you've been in boxing way longer than him. And then the kid that just came into boxing, outbeat you to the belts? And the
Well,
kid
hold
in
on, hold
boxing,
on. Hold on. I ride with my flag, but to be fair, Boots was a unified champion at
okay, unified, okay,
47.
I'll bring that up. I'll respect. Unified champion. He got emailed one belt and he beat Stanionis for the other. Not the same thing like Xander. Xander fought a live body for a vacated belt. Chino.
True.
He actually fought a person, got the first one, then fought a champion. See what I'm
Okay, so
saying?
Boots was gifted one and fought for the other.
Yes,
I
not
get
the
what you're saying.
same. Not the same. Okay?
But
So,
on
so, so,
paper,
so,
to be
okay.
fair, he was
Okay.
unified at a lower weight
Okay,
class.
I'll give him that. Now, rightfully so. This is also See, in boxing, you got to take your opportunities in your moments. This fucking fight fell on Jaron Boots Ennis's lap. He was on the outside twiddling his thumbs after Virgil negotiations fell through. What was Jaron Boots Ennis going to do now? Sebastian Fundora was already scheduled to fight, and Ed Hearn is not going to feed him Josh Kelly because they're in the same stable. What was Jaron Boots Ennis to do? Here comes his savior, a 23-year-old Puerto Rican champion, unified champion. Oh, the heavens opened up, the lights came down, and Xander floated down. Do you want to fight?
Look at what Puck says.
What are you doing, Jaron Boots Ennis? I was just in the neighborhood. Why don't we give the fans a good fight? And Jaron Boots Ennis looked at him like he's seen an angel. His moment had arrived. He was like, holy shit, are you serious? You're gonna give me a shot at those two belts? You're trolling, you're capping. The contract fell down and a magical pen fell out of the air, a feather. And then Xander took the feather and poked Jaron Boots Ennis in the forehead, ding, and got a dot of his own blood and signed the contract. Boop, here you go, buddy. It's real. And Jaron Boots Ennis now has his opportunity because of him. And I am so thankful for that because that's going to be an awesome fight.
It is. Hey, Boots has the quickness with his punch, but his pace of fighting isn't speed. Abaz is more reckless and willing to sell out on speed and haymakers to pressure. Boots' pace more Xander's comfort zone.
We fight all night. He said, cut that out. yo, we fight all night. Hey, yo, listen, I want to hear what you guys got to say.
Pick your brain.
I want to hear what you guys got to say. I'll give you guys 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying, or something. And if the conversation's right, we might hit
Hey, Lono says he already dropped it, but he says he want to clear this up, brother.
What's up?
Lono's boxing. He says, drop the link. I want to clear this up, brother.
Yeah, I already dropped the link right there, brother.
I'm gonna put myself on mute. I'll let y'all sort that shit out.
Yeah, when he comes up here. But for right now, can you please catch up with the chat?
If you raise your hand, that's tag team. I'll jump in. Pug, no one is comfortable versus Boots. Let's be real. Kieran was two times. Boots' career is finally moving because of Xander, says Jason. Xander is a win-win situation because if he loses, his stock doesn't drop due to him being so young. They will compare it to Canelo.
Yo.
Carcast says, come on. That's lame for PR to do that. No professionalism for PR.
For what?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember what we was talking about that he said that. It's going to look like David versus Zurdo, but not as violent as we fight. Xander also has a loss on one of the judges' scorecards to Abaz. So Xander does Xander have a rematch clause inked in as a 2-belt holder? That's status quo for the defending champs. Automatic 2 fights to defend if he loses first fight.
Yo, check this out, right? When we talk about like rematch clause and fighters doing crazy shit, like Floyd did, right? Floyd done some sucker shit in his career. You know, he is the best, right? But there's no Superman, guys. Sometimes, bro, taking these punches is not good, bro. You get in there one time with a guy and he fucking hits you real hard. What you don't see from these boxing matches is the healing process. The weeks after the fight of sleeping with ice on your forehead, having massive headaches, and healing, and your wife kisses you in the morning and your face is all fucked up. They don't show you that part. They don't show you that. When the guys sit there for 2 weeks and his eyes are like this. So, some of these fights you don't want to take. I remember when Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather fought. right? After the fight, if you didn't know this, a lot of people don't know this. There was a rematch clause in that fight. In fact, right? So Oscar De La Hoya had a rematch clause put in place for a year. So if he lost to Floyd, Floyd would have to fight him again. Floyd Mayweather retired from boxing 1 year and 1 day. He came back to boxing after the contract expired, the rematch. He came back right the day after the contract expired. You think that was coincidence?
Hell, that was a duck move.
Or he avoided fighting Oscar De La Hoya?
That was a duck move. Hey, shout out to Fun
Bro.
Truck in the building. Mick Doonan in the building. Low Key says, please drop it on StreamYard. Yo, Low Key, we use Restream over here.
We have it on Restream. I would have to turn off my entire and then do a whole StreamYard application just to have you come up when you've been up on my channel 100 times with StreamYard. Low Nose Boxing. This is not the first time you've come up. Here he is. Chicago Kills is here now. Low, don't act like you've been on my show a few times, but that link doesn't work. So I put the new link in the chat. So that one should work. What up, Chicago Kills? Hold up. Whoa, 1 second. What up? Oh, 1 second. All righty then. Let's go.
Protection. Guards up. Chicago Kills. What up, huh?
Talk to me, Pa.
Oh, hey, can y'all hear me good, or am I breaking up?
Yeah.
Loud and clear. You need permission to talk? You got it.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm talking to you guys on my Bluetooth in the vehicle and shit like that. Sometimes I be chopped up, man. Chopping up the weed.
Yo, so what? How'd you like the David the Monster Benavidez fight?
What is this, deja vu? We talked about that yesterday.
Man who needs cookies. I ain't reading that. That's just some gay as hell. Chicago, what up?
I don't know what he doing. He did something, got off. I got him again. I'm gonna put him back on here. Fuck, keep calling me, bro. Not saying nothing. I got a stalker. Frontline, read the chat. Oh no, you already read it all. All right.
I know. Low Nose just said, no worries, bro. I'll check you on the rebound. And when I was on the show, it was another link. I'm at the gym. We'll talk,
Okay.
even if it's on the on one of my calls on TBV. Stay up, brother.
All right, brother. Have a good workout. Chicago Kills. I'm gonna try you again. I don't know what you're doing over there.
Try me again.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
But now the Benavidez, the monster. That shit was a badass fight. He kicked his ass pretty good. We got to see him. He got to fight Crawford. Fight Crawford.
Who got to fight Crawford?
Let's have them two. Benavidez.
You know Crawford's retired, right?
Get back for his brother.
You know Crawford's retired,
Crawford
right?
Ain't retired. He's using that as leverage to get more money. I mean, come on.
If that's what you think, listen.
Chicago, you're talking about 168. They fought at 200. Yo, y'all boxing fans.
No. Yeah. He's just wishful thinking and trying to act like he says something because Terrence Crawford is not fighting at 168 again, and Benavidez is not going down. He's the cruiserweight champion, and it would only make sense for Benavidez to go after the other two remaining belts and himself try to be unified, undisputed world champion, rather than going down and satisfying Chicago Kill one fan for that he can fight Terrence Crawford for no belts, for nothing. Just waste your time, go down there and get a whole bunch of money. So fuck your legacy, according to Chicago Kills. Because if you really love David the Monster Benavidez, what I think you should be supporting is the fact that, fuck it, there is no Canelo Alvarez fight. You don't need Canelo. You don't need Terrence Crawford to validate your claim. David the Monster Benavidez did that on Saturday night by himself by stopping Zurdo. Now, David, use that same momentum, go after those belts. Now prove to the world at cruiserweight, you got all 4 belts. Like they said, the only thing they're saying Canelo's better than you because Canelo got 4 belts at one time. You get 4 belts, then turn around and fight Demetrius Bivol and beat the guy that beat Saul. You don't need Saul. You don't need Terrence. And you got legacy. And you got one up on the guy that said ducked you. You will go down as a better Mexican champion than Saul. Fuck going down there to Terrence Crawford. You don't need him. Terrence Crawford's now offering, what, a big bag of money? David, you already been doing that. It got you nowhere. You want legacy? You want the right? And then they say these belts don't mean shit. Don't let them lie to you. Because fighters like Gabe Rosado would be a legend with all the guys that he has on his resume. But what did he not have? Belts. That's what separates him from the champions. David, stop pleasing these crazy fans. Go after legacy. And show the world that you're the real monster. Show the world why these people were avoiding you.
And
why?
you know what, though? I think the Canelo fight, my opinion, the reason why he's pushing for that fight, I think is because he wants to show the people that he's the new face of Mexican boxing. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. It's not about money. It's not about nothing. It's just to show the people he's the new face of Mexican boxing. That's just my thought. I don't know. I might be.
Listen,
I might be
I'm never. Look at. You guys saw my. Okay, wait. We're gonna do this again. Okay, we're going down here. Now I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just gonna show you then, right? Okay, and we're gonna go. I want to answer this guy's question. Yo, can you read the chat? Anything? Front line.
Let me see. David's the new face of boxing. Says we fight. Facts. Benavidez don't need Canelo. Says Jason. Zayas could have probably leveraged a rematch on Boots. What other fight was Boots going to make aside from Xander that guarantees more reward and equal challenge? Pug says never understood the demand for Benavidez versus Canelo. The Benavidez last Saturday weight wise was the Benavidez we always knew. Benavidez doesn't need Canelo. He can pressure Bivol, beat Bivol, and beat Canelo and Bivol. Better beef at the same time.
Okay. I'm going to put up a video right now. Hopefully, yeah, I think we can hear it. Okay, hold on. Here we are. Check this out. This is my take on what I thought the fight with Canelo and Terrence Crawford. They asked me on the Boxing Voice, they said, yo, round 1. I said, what? They said, yo, do you think that this fight is done with? Look, what you'll hear yourself.
Versus Bud Crawford, 2 cold French fries reheated in the microwave.
No, because we're talking about boxing fans. They're crazy. You know, you got a lot of fighters that are Mexican guys that are actually saying, wait a minute, that fight was a lot closer. I think Saul won against Terrence. Those guys are out there. If you tell them we can run this back, it's just going to bring those fighting fans back out. And no matter what we say, I can sit here and say, you know what? I don't want to see that. On the day that it streams live, guess what I'll be doing? Watching it. So there's still the top guys, and I understand it won't be for no belts. Those belts got scattered throughout the division. So will the fight be as big or of importance without as much on the line? That yet to be seen. See? I hope that answered your question. I'm not saying that when they ask me, do you think that the Canelo versus Terrence Crawford fight, you think that's cold French fries reheated in a microwave? Cold French fries reheated in a microwave, that shit sucks. When you bite that, them French fries suck. Throw them shits away, right? That's what he's saying. And I said no. Fighting fans will still come out and they're gonna watch it. And I
Hey,
said the night that it streams, well, guess what I'm gonna be doing it, watching it.
with this
I hope that answers your question.
with this Dana White situation and Jay Opatai, do you think they'll make the Opatai versus Benavidez? Sufa? I don't think the sanctioning bodies would approve that fight.
Yes, they will if they do it on the second tier that they claim. Same tier they put Conor Ben on. That he fought Regis Progress. He's under the SUFA banner, but he didn't fight under the SUFA rules or for the SUFA belt or the SUFA division. They still kept Conor in boxing. They're gonna also rumors that are circulating that Conor's gonna be facing Ryan Garcia. And I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but those are some of the rumors that are going around in boxing. So,
Hey, you should drape that Sufa belt over those 4 belts. Just have it drape over
are you
all 4.
crazy? I don't want to ruin my background for that shit. I'm just telling you guys that, like, yeah, I think that Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford have given enough to boxing. Saul's given 60 fucking fights. If I'm speaking honest, right? I don't blame Saul for not fighting David the Monster Benavidez. Did you see what he did to Zurdo? Man, and Saul wants to keep that face looking nice. Don't fight that, man. Fuck that, bro. You already went in there with some of the toughest guys. You fought Floyd Mayweather. You fought fucking Demetrius Bivol. You fought a lot of these top guys. So you fought Triple G 3 times, maybe too much, but still, Triple G was a knockout artist. And
Hey, we fight. You know you're gonna get some pushback on this, but I'm gonna read it anyways.
go ahead.
He said hashtag Sufa takeover, but before that, he said, I can see them making the fight only for the ring belt, so they won't need other sanctioning bodies, especially with the UBO rules.
Only make yes, you're correct. All right. So I mean
But
they can
the question is though, remember, he's got what, the WBO and the WBA, right? That's what he got?
who?
Benavidez.
He is WBO, WBA, yes.
Okay. Do you think they're gonna allow their champion to fight for just a ring belt without?
I see your okay, I caught on. I got up to speed with you. Okay. If you're thinking that Jayo Pataya is fighting for the Zuffa belt, you're going to have to be right. It's the only logical explanation of why he allowed them to take that IBF from you. If you were fighting in the second tier like Conor Ben, you would be able to keep your IBF, but you couldn't bring the Zuffa belt in the ring because you're not competing for it. Jayo Pataya is the first Zuffa champion. He's got the belt and he's got the ring. So why did he sacrifice the IBF? See, at this scenario, you would be going into a fight with David the Monster Benavidez for 3 belts. It's obvious now you're going to try to go after David. Why would David the Monster Benavidez fight you if you don't have the belt? You have no value. David the Monster Benavidez doesn't need the Ring magazine to be unified, undisputed world champion. You don't need the ring. It doesn't validate you nowhere. Anybody else, you could be the Ring magazine champion. You don't. What you need are those 4 belts, and you're undisputed. If you got the IBF and you got the Ring magazine, are you unified world champion or are you just a 1 belt world champion? That answers your question. Jai has nothing.
Sanctioning bodies, we fight on it. So sanctioning bodies don't matter as much as people think. Jason says, for real, Benavidez.
Stop.
Stop.
Sanctioning bodies is everything. God, thank God for them. Thank God for the man that invented that idea. You're a fucking genius, and without you, we wouldn't be where we are. To the person that ever said that sanctioning fees are ain't everything or whatever, you know,
Sanctioning bodies don't matter as much as people think.
say they don't matter as much as people think. If you there's other sports out there you can view. They got figure skating, golf. I hear is a pretty good, and then they got like table tennis. Go watch that shit. Because without the sanctioning bodies, there would have never been no world champions. Without no world champions, there would be no legacy. What you think in your head without before you type something out, just think about what you're saying first. Just that way you can get a better answer, right? Without a sanctioning body, no belts exist. What do you make? Who makes the belt? What is it? Just one belt floating around, passing around from each guy? You think that's what they would do? Where would these? Who would determine who's a champion? What would stop the Russian champion, the Japanese champion, the fucking British champion from coming over here and just taking any belt and putting it over their shoulder and saying their guy is the real world champion? What made the sport a professional sport was the structure of the sanctioning bodies. Since the sanctioning bodies don't have an arena, they don't have a dome where they charge ticket prices at the door. Boxing is a traveling circus. The promoter goes from city to city, renting out different venues. The only way they get money is sanctioning fees, where they have a building and they pay secretaries and people that work that travel around the world to host their events so they can have a representative of their belt. Who pays for that? Loves hugs and thank you? No, they need money. They don't get ticket prices. They don't get anything else. The idea of charging sanctioning fees was brilliant. It tied the sport in and made it, no, these are world champions. That's why the Russian champion can't just take any belt, bring it in the ring, and say, our champion is better than yours. That's why you don't let the Sufa belt in with your belt, because off of your belt, you give life to that belt. They made boxing, the sanctioning bodies. They made this. I'm not saying it's the best system. Boxing needs help. It is the Wild Wild West. It is a lot of corruption, yes. But thank God for the man that came up with a system to charge the fighters money so that we keep value to just real world champions. Without any value, what would you be?
Yo, I don't know who's worse, the chat or me on getting you triggered.
IBO.
Getting you triggered. Who's worse, me or the chat?
I don't know, but sanctioning fees are the best thing since sliced bread.
Well, shout out to Melasa. Melasa says, where's it at? Let me pull it up.
It's like
He says, if it's
fighters like
approved-
Jamel. Wait. Like fighters like Jamel Charlo, when he made that video, he thanks the sanctioning fees. He's like, yo, these belts changed my life. Without those belts, I wouldn't be the man I am today. Terrence Crawford wouldn't be 3 times undisputed without those belts. Take all those belts away from Terrence Crawford. Take those belts away from Saul. What are they? Just another good boxer. That's it. They paid into a system that rewarded them. They made a system that you pay into to become the man you are today. Mike Tyson still walks around in rooms and is revered. Why? Because of these belts. Because of a few dollars for sanctioning fees? Thank you. Thank you for changing my life.
Melasa says
People are crazy.
If it's approved, it will not be a Sufa belt. It will be the UBO. Well,
I got some clarification on that too. On the Boxing Voice, right? Ness has a real IBO belt. The IBO organization didn't give him a replica. They gave him the real deal IBO
UBO,
belt.
Edwin, not IBO, UBO.
I'm talking about the IBO.
Okay.
I'm talking about the IBO. So Ness has one, right? So he showed it to me on the show. He was like, yo, check it out. I was like, yo, that's just dope. And he explained the story why the IBO is not a world championship and why we don't have a 5-belt era right now. In fact, according to what he said to me on the live, just repeating what he said, they were given the opportunity to join them. But under the structure of how they are, some of these organizations are non-profit and some are profit. I think, I forget which side they're on, but whatever side it is, the IBO doesn't want to do that. So the only reason why the IBO is not in the dance right now, according to what he's saying, like I don't know this, I'm just repeating what he said. It's because they're not willing to fall in line like that way. They believe they're going to have success their way. So, shouts out to them. But I think eventually we're going to have a 5-belt era. We're going to have a 5-belt era. And to all the people that are going to say, no more belts. This belt shit is crazy. I agree and I don't agree. You got to do the math. We got to think this out logically. You can't have a 1-belt era. Boxing has gone too far. We're not the UFC. Our fucking roster, our ranking division doesn't consist of 60 guys. In one ranking division, you could have on average over 2,000 men registered to fight in one division. 2,000, over 2,000, right? And some are a little bit lower the number, right? But on average, let's say 1,200 men. On average, it's an average number. You mean to tell me 1,200 men for one belt? That'll never work. What if the champion gets hurt? Goes on vacation? You just held up 1,199 careers because they're all waiting to fight you. That would never work in boxing. You would destroy boxing. The reason why we're in a 4-belt era and have all these fucking stupid interim belts is because even with all those belts, you can't please everyone. Still to this day, there are fighters that have been fighting 6, 7, 8 years and never got the call for a title fight. You still can't even meet the demand with all the fucking corruption and cheating you're doing with all these belts. Every day they're reinventing a new belt. The Super Gold Double Platinum, the Lake Erie belt, the fucking Great Wanatuki Island belt. They got the youth belt. They got the fucking intercontinental, the interim, the gold, the diamond, the platinum, Uranus. You know what I mean? They're coming out and they still cannot get these belts fast enough around these guys. There are fans that are yelling, my guy has not got a title fight. But you got 1,000,000 belts and you still can't please boxing.
Hey, shout out to Peace to God.
It's too big.
We Fight says, ask 100 people on the street, what are the 4 belts the best boxers in the world has? You'll be lucky to have one person answer this.
Okay, right? That's a stupid question, right? What neighborhood am I asking this question in? Am I in a boxing neighborhood next to a boxing gym? Or am I walking around downtown fucking middle classville where they don't even watch boxing? So you would, where am I asking the question at? Am I standing outside of the YMCA, a boxing gym? Am I standing in front of City Hall? Where am I standing? Am I in am I in the hood in any neighborhood? Or am I in middle class or Whiteville? Am I asking the question there? That's a dumb question, right? Because if you went to any major city and you ask somebody in a boxing community about the belts, they're going to tell you. We all understand the one concept, the major world titles. A major between a minor world title. Sometimes they're similar, but if you learn how to read the belts, which is difficult, I'm not going to ask everybody, you got to get this invested into boxing just to, no, but just pay attention to slight word changes when they introduce the fighter. Okay? When they would introduce a fighter like Tank Davis once upon a time, Tank Davis had the WBA regular. But wait a minute. Didn't Devin Haney have all 4 belts during that same period? Why, yes, he did. So how could Devin Haney be considered undisputed if Tank Davis is being announced as the WBA world title champion? Right? And the way they dress that up in boxing, listen to what I just said. Here comes Gervonta Davis, world title champion. The key word is title. They're not saying he's the world champion. He's the world title champion. That's how they can get away with it. You can announce him as a champion. They're not lying to you, actually. When you have an interim or a regular belt, what that means is you have a piece of a world championship. You don't have full status, but you do have a piece of a world championship. So they're not actually lying to you. And that's how they dress it up.
We fight that sanctioning bodies made more weight classes to generate more money for themselves. Why do we have so many champs and rarely get any unification fights?
Okay, now here's another. It's okay. I say this all the time. Boxing is a sport, as a business disguised as a sport. I say that all the time. Boxing's motto is to make money first, to fight second. It's what it is. Okay, we're purse fighters, and we're dealing with one man and a little team. We're not dealing with a 36 roster, and we have to have your fight. No, your game played here. No, that's not what we're dealing with. So it's usually on a fight to fight basis. Everything changes, and there's all different avenues, and one guy's higher than the other, and every situation is different across the board. But if you think that the sanctioning bodies ain't taking advantage of a situation that needs something, you see, there's supply and demand. They're supplying the supply demand of the cry out that these guys are not getting title fights. So what do? They invent interim belts, gold, silver, diamond, platinum, to please the people, to say, listen, we got your kid an interim title fight. We didn't get him the title fight because the champion doesn't want to fight right now, Richard Hitchens. We can't get him from underneath the bed. Those situations happen. But we're not going to hold up your kid's career. We're going to listen, and we're going to treat him like a world fucking champion. We're going to have you fight for the interim belt, but guess what we're going to do? The organization, we're going to back you like the real world champion, bro. You go out there, you fight for that belt, it don't look no different than a real world championship. You feel good about yourself.
And pay me my money while you at it.
Yeah, but you feel good about yourself, man. You're walking around proud. The people, the public, they're
but you know what,
taking
Edwin?
pictures with you.
No, Edwin, because you can make the same argument for the Sufa belt. You can make the same argument for the ring belt.
No, you can't. You almost said something.
No, you can't, because you're walking around with a fucking trophy. That's what you're walking around with.
Stop. At least these interim champions in boxing have legacy. There have been a lot of men that have interim belts before they became real champions.
Name me one Hall of Famer that went into the Hall of Fame with an interim belt. I'll wait.
Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao went into the Hall of Fame with an interim?
Yes. His last belt was an interim. What?
I don't care about his last belt.
It was a diamond. It was a WBC diamond, which is the variation of an interim. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is he's proven himself.
No. I got you. And you're backing out front now. You're doing it again, baby.
I'm not backing. No, okay. Let me clarify the question. Let
Yeah,
me clear.
no,
Yo, you
no.
got my wife laughing at me right now.
Listen,
Yo,
you're caught frontline. I'm
yo.
just telling
The
you.
question, no, the question I had was name one boxer in history with only. See, Manny Pacquiao has accomplishments that gets him
Oh,
into the Hall
stop
of
it.
Fame.
Stop trying to dress it up. Just
Yo,
let it go. Just let it go. Just let it. You're better off doing that. Move on. Look,
yo,
look. What I'm saying is
let me
that
catch up with the
interim
chat, Edwin.
belts. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Catch up to the check. I need to smoke anyway. Frontline. Don't mess with me. Yo, Rosie, tell him. Go
Pug
ahead.
says
Go.
the belts are just placeholders to help fans build perception. Hate or love, Floyd didn't chase undisputed. He was just in position where the banks and sanctioning bodies couldn't let go of. When you're the boxer and best fighter, the banks, networks, and sanctioning bodies can't let go of your business. You're the exception of the rules. Even a league like SUFA will humble down and provide exceptions to the rules at any moment for the biggest prize fight to make. We Fight says there's a popular saying: if you want to find all the crooks in the world, start in boxing. Pug says, LOL, because boxing washes blood money across all industries. It's the stage and theater for all parties to take a bite out of it. We Fight says,
What's wrong with that? That's awesome. Yo, come on. You know what I mean? You don't want the mob to live? Come on.
you know
Yeah,
that would happen
only messing around.
if you put John Jones in a ring with a true up or number 40 in the world, bro would catch a case. We Fight says, why are tune-ups like this still being sanctioned? Dudes are consistently taking fights where they're minus 2,000 favorite. Sanctioning
I
bodies
know.
are destroying the sport.
No, 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 no. Don't get
Stop
sanctioning bodies.
right
Stop.
here.
Yeah. Don't get sanctioning bodies. Don't smear their name with what promoters do and managers. They're the ones that organize the sanctioning bodies. Don't organize the fights
They
unless
just
it's a
sanction it.
mandatory, and they order it. That's it. These guys, because rightfully so, you don't get up to the number one contender because you're a bum. So usually that's not the fight that goes out the way you explained it. You understand? Those situations that falls on the promoter and the manager, not the sanctioning fees. So please don't divert that energy to them. I think you're a bit confused on where you're placing the blame at. Go ahead, read the rest. Go.
We got Izzo in the building. He says only in America, champs fight once, maybe only twice a year if we're lucky. We should be ashamed. Other countries aren't playing into business politics as much. America is creating weaker fighters, playing into the business. We Fight says they work hand in hand. Both sanctioning bodies and promoters are protecting their assets.
Yes. See, now look, these are called relationships, right? In any field you work in, depending of how you work, like in their field is mostly marketing, sales, things like that, right? So throughout, like, let's just say, let's take a promoter, Ed Hearn, right?
Let's just
Okay.
take round one sports talk for an example.
Okay.
Right? I protect the asset because he lives curious through me. You know,
Listen. By the way, listen. Look, okay, frontline. Let's say if I was wanting to make contacts, relationships, things, I go to these fights. I not only do I want to meet the fighter, but what I try to do is I want to meet referees, judges, as many of them as I can. The guys
corner man,
behind it,
shit like that. Yep.
but the guys behind the scenes, so that I get more familiar with them. Now, once I start learning the judges and how they view fights, once I'm sitting at their fight and I pay attention to their scorecard, I see what they value. Whether they value forward aggression, whether they value punches landed, and so forth. And you kind of get a feel for this. The top promoters and managers are at the closest to all of these guys and people. What do they start doing? They start to build relationships. They start to build relationships with the organizations, because every time they have a title fight, they send out a representative for that belt. Ed Hearn goes up to him, shakes his hand, starts to build relationships. So when his guy wants a title fight, who does he go to? The guy he saw every time. Hey, listen, my guy needs a fight. What do we got to do? Okay, listen, we're going to fight this for a title eliminator. Do you agree to that? Yes, thank you. And now I got the organization backing me.
All right, so here's a
Why?
question I got for you, Edwin.
We're bringing them money.
If Dana White right now calls your phone, right?
Yep.
And he says, I've got an all-exclusive insight just for round one to make you a believer, right? I'm going to fly you to Vegas. We're going to go through the process. You're going to see every step of the way. You're going to see the matchmaking. You're going to see the contracts. You're going to see everything, right? And my question is, will you bring up the sanctioning bodies into the equation, or would you just sit back, play it all out, and then come out with your own theory? Or would you ask the horse's mouth for the theory?
Okay. Here, I'm going to help you with what you were trying to say. What you were trying to say is, if Dana White called me out to SUFA to explain their whole system, would I be interested in hearing them out and consider them as a real player in boxing versus the sanctioning bodies? First of all, business is business, and I understand the
Wait,
value.
there's a second part to that question.
Okay,
though,
go
that
ahead.
You're missing. The second part is, while you're face to face with Dana White and he's explaining to you the whole SUFA thing, would you confront Dana White in the process about, okay, you almost said something with SUFA. What about WBO, WBA, WBC? That's my question.
Okay. If I was face to face with Dana White, right, and like you said, he would fly me out there and bring me to the institute and show me all the ways and the particulars, the guidelines, everything else. Right. First of all, as a person that covers boxing, I understand the value of a dollar. First of all, right? And if somebody was willing to do that, these other sanctioning bodies didn't do that, right? So I would go out there. Now, would it cast or persuade my judgment? If you're saying, can I be bought by SUFA to now say that the SUFA belt is, and would I confront Dana White on the fact that your SUFA belt is not on the same line as the Alpha Belt belts? Yes, I would. Even though he threw me out there, I would get Dana White to know one thing, but I would also promote something else upon going there and doing my homework with them and knowing more. Now I would be more educated, and I would come out and I would say the truth. His perception of what he's selling, if I don't like his product, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. And the one thing that I would have against Dana White that he could not change my mind in, no matter what, because I would attack it the same way. Your belt doesn't have no legacy. It doesn't have any champions. It has no history. But that doesn't mean that you don't. Every belt started from somewhere. The WBA started somewhere. Off of the WBA, spun the WBC. Once upon a time, there was only 2 belts. Then off of the WBC, spun the IBF. And from there, spun and gave birth to the WBO. They all came from the same structure, but changed different rules. But it all started where? From the WBA. So SUFA, even if you came and Dana White invited me out there, he explained everything, depending on what the product that he was giving to me, I would come and tell you that. Then
What if he gave you a real SUFA belt? Would you hang it up big there under?
Yeah, of course I would. Of course I would. SUFA's part of boxing. I understand.
Where's the IBO at? Where's the IBO belt?
It's right there.
Why you don't have that hung up on your wall under
It's
innerwear?
right here. You can see it. It's right there. It's IBO. Okay, what do you want me to change the camera a little? But it's right there. It doesn't fit any. I used to have it up, the IBO, all the time. I showcased that IBO for years. But what I'm saying is, I don't look at Sufa like I don't I don't I'm not acknowledging him as another entity in boxing. I accept competition. I'm not afraid of Zuffa, or I'm not shooting them down or telling you not to watch their fights. I stream Zuffa fights because I want to see where their product is going. They're signing a lot of fighters fast. They're starting to build momentum. At some point, Sufa's going to be where they have real Sufa champions. And once they start to develop that, I've already said it. You know what the next move is going to be, right? They're going to challenge the alphabet champions to see which champions are the bigger and stronger champion. At that moment, Sufa's going to start to develop. Whatever outcome happens, I can't tell the future, but if they end up on top, that's when they start to really poke out their chest and give that Sufa credibility, that belt. Start giving it legacy, start giving it recognition that their fighters are stronger, better, and so forth.
So
You
what's gonna
understand?
happen? What's gonna happen when the Sufa champions, right? They start taking over, because they to be honest, you and I both know they do have a lot of ambassadors out there vouching for Sufa. Like we fight all night. He thinks Sufa's the next wave. Now that being said, what would happen to boxing if Dana White did what he did to Bellator? If he says WBC, bring on your best, IBF, bring on your best, WBO, bring on your best, WBA, bring on your best. When we beat you, we're going to become one. Those belts ain't going to matter. It's only going to be Sufa. What will you do then? What will you do then?
Okay, check this out. That's a lovely story, and there's also a flip side to that coin. What happens when Sufa falls on their face and they lose all the fights to the alphabet belts?
No, I get it. There's a flip side to the story. To the
Okay,
coin. I get
so
it.
so so
But
so 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 now,
my
okay,
question is on a fantasy. What if Sufa fighters all beat the sanctioning bodies, and part of the deal is to get rid of the sanctioning bodies and all fall under Sufa? What would happen then?
okay. First of all, Sufa doesn't have that much power. That day will never happen. Okay, even if you beat the alphabet belts, because let's just say you beat the alphabet belts in what, one weight division, two weight divisions or something. It's not like on one remarkable day, all of the suit, you don't even have the same divisions we have. So you're only going to be able to beat us in 9 weight divisions. If the best case scenario you have in boxing, there's 17 weight divisions. We're going to still have way more alphabet champions than your 9, no matter how you dial it. And since in Zuffa, there's no 4 belts, there's only 1 belt, you're not going to even, we're going to say our champions have 4 belts. You only have 1. We still have more.
Well,
There'll
no,
never,
no.
no, yes, listen, there'll never be a time
Think
where
about it, Edwin. There's only one NBA. There's only one NBA, right? There's only one Major League Baseball. There's only one NHL. That being said, there's teams. In Sufa's case, it's weight classes. That's the quote unquote teams, if you will. If he takes from the lowest weight class to the highest weight class and fights the alphabet people and beats them all and starts taking over, I'm not a super fan. I'm just asking the devil's advocate type of fucking questions, because whether you like it or not, a lot of people are moving to Sufa
okay.
for multiple reasons. And number two, the fans are being attracted to Sufa. So there is going to be change, whether anyone likes it or not, whether the boxing community likes it or not. There is going to be
Mm-hmm.
change. So I'm asking,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not that I'm throwing shade at the alphabet, because
Mm-hmm.
I like your hubcap belt since you don't even fucking display it no more.
Mm-hmm.
But You know what I'm saying? We stand on one side of boxing, but we're open minded to Sufa. We're not, you know,
Hmm.
we're not shutting Sufa out completely.
Hmm.
There's people in the boxing community that are shutting boxing down completely and only riding with Sufa. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm. Okay, here. You said all of that, and you still didn't get nowhere. The
Was
thing
this a big
is
word
this.
salad? That was a
It,
big word salad.
a big word salad. You didn't get anywhere. Check this out. Here's the problem, right? Even let's give the Sufa the best case scenario. You beat all our champions in all 9 weight divisions that you have, right? Okay. You're on the top of the world. You're yelling that you're Sufa champions. Remarkably, you got the fucking the justice team over there. You're the Avengers, right? Okay. Boom. Here's the problem. Your champions are only in the now. They don't have no history. In order for you to claim that your belts are better than ours, you don't have any Muhammad Ali's. You don't have any Mike Tysons. You don't got no Floyds. You don't got no Manny Pacquiao's. You have nothing. The only thing you have is in the moment. Your champions have just started. And even though you're saying that you don't have enough power to shut down Muhammad Ali's legacy, Floyd's, Mike Tyson's, Manny Pacquiao's, you think the boxing community is just gonna wipe away the Hall of Fame? You think they're gonna just say we adapted the Sufa way? Are you out of your mind? No matter even if you're on top in a certain year, you still need 20, 30 years to
Yeah, but
put
history
something
could be
together.
rewritten, Edwin. You
I'm
know
gonna
that.
tell you what, listen, and look, but it can't be overlooked. It can be rewritten. Now, one entity can spawn and make a better sport and eat the other one, but there's gonna have to be a time and a process.
Well, here's a curveball. What if? What
Let
if
me
the
listen. Your
alphabets?
what if your in order for your what if to take place, unfortunately, you will no longer be alive.
Okay, but what if the alphabet belts they fall in line and fold to
What
Sufa
if
and
what if
all
my aunt
join
had a
forces?
penis? She would be my uncle. Listen, you're crazy. You're crazy. Your theory is too wide and broad.
Dude, I'm just throwing out there
And I'm
what
telling you, what you're saying is virtually impossible to occur in the next 3 or 4
bullshit. Nope,
years.
nope, bullshit. Because Turkey came in and bought the ring belt,
I
and
don't.
ever since Turkey bought it, it's been making waves. You and I both know it as boxing fans.
Okay, okay.
So
Check
that
this.
being
Okay,
said,
wait.
if
Stop. Stop. Stop.
Turkey,
Stop. 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 You got to understand the difference between a social media wave and what validates you as a champion. That's the bottom line. You live in this era of what if, like a lot of fans do. And I want to bring you guys all back down to earth. If the Ring magazine belt right now at its most powerful, gives you no status on your belts, it's not like you can have the Ring belt by itself and they consider you a world champion. No, they don't. That Ring magazine by itself, you're only fighting for the Ring magazine. You are not a world champion. You can't take the Ring belt and tie it into the WBO and now you're a unified world champion. No, you only have one belt. So say whatever you want. Go ahead with the social media hype. You're just you're an email belt champion. That's all you are. You're a social media fucking belt holder, the Ring belt, because it actually does nothing for you as a status as a world champion. Now, if you want to be revered as the man that fought the man, that's just like saying Tyson Fury had the literal belt. What the fuck is that belt? An invisible belt? An invisible belt. Really, that has more meaning than a real belt? People, come back down to earth. I don't care how many clicks, views, and likes that ring belt gets. It's not a world title. So if they don't view it as a world title, neither do I. Until that belt gets recognition and it actually does something for your career, then I'll acknowledge it. Until then, it's just a trophy that goes around your waist. Wake up.
we always
Wake
fight on.
up.
I said, y'all know the UFC wasn't the first MMA organization. They
No, it
already
wasn't.
know how to take over a
K1,
sport.
K1, shit like that. Then Japan, those were the first because remember, Bruce Lee was basically the inventor of those UFC gloves. Remember when he had those gloves made for the movie that he came, did the flip, jumped in? You know, that was an Oriental thing. And then somebody was like, "Yo, that makes sense." Here we are today. But those dudes, that mixed martial arts shit was heavy in that side of the world. Then it came out here. Then Bellator, WECW, whatever it was called, where Uriah Faber used to fight in that one, and then Uriah Faber came over to UFC and lost, never won a fucking UFC belt. He just fell flat on his face, and then a lot of Bellator fighters. Then what Dana White did, he had a monopoly in the mixed martial world. Nobody paid attention to fucking Dana White's vision. And Dana White was smarter than all of them. He bought every small entity around him. He didn't let nobody compete with him like we're doing in boxing. Because in boxing right now, they would beat the shit out of the super boxing, and then the sanctioning body should just buy them and throw them away. Dana White shelved all the fucking mixed martial art. That's why they never blew up and competed against the UFC. And Dana White made it look like the best place to fight and the highest stage is the UFC because he dimmed the lights on all the other promotions around them. He didn't let Bellator shine. What he's asking for now, allow us, Zuffa, to shine when what you did in order to survive, you killed all the other organizations around you. And now he's asking for boxing to give him the opportunity that he didn't do to everybody else. Just keep in mind. Just keep in mind.
I think the pushback with Sufa right now is the bullshit they're trying to do legally with the Muhammad Ali Act and shit like that. The Muhammad Ali Act was put in place for a reason. They're trying to work right now in order for Sufa to exist. They have to work within the perimeter of the Muhammad Ali Act. But once it gets overturned in Congress or however that's going to play out, you're going to see a huge shift in boxing, Edwin. And the question's going to fall, how will the alphabet belts play into that versus Sufa? Because now, since it's a law getting put in, since it's a law, are these promoters going to take advantage of that law change and fuck boxers over where Sufa, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, okay. Listen, Frontline. Before I have you read Pug's message here, I want you to read that chat out, right? But before I have you read that, I want you guys to understand something. I want to be very clear with this. I'm not happy with boxing. Boxing needs help. I thought that Sufo was going to be our savior. I'm still hoping that they are, but I'm a bit reserved. You got to understand that I'm the type of person, I've been around the block more than once. I don't fall for every sad story. Just because everything starts off good, I know it doesn't always end that way. Whenever something moved into our neighborhood, they always lowered the prices. After they had us going to the store, then they raised the prices and they revealed who they really were. Right? I'm not just buying into Sufa and just right away jumping off the diving board and saying they're going to save boxing. I'm just asking for them to prove it. I'm just more reserved. I want you to know right now, I'm not defending the sanctioning bodies in the sense that boxing is perfect. No, I have a lot of issues with boxing. I have a lot of issues with the sanctioning bodies. Yes, I do. I'm just saying that in this argument, I need to back the sanctioning bodies because they were here first. That's the belt that Felix Trinidad had. That's the belt that Camacho had. Cotos, my champions, Mike Tyson, okay? Ali. Those are my heroes. And until you can make a better product and change it, then out. And I see that your product is here to stay. I see that you're here for the fighters. I see that you're changing and fixing shit. Then you got me. Then I'll join you. But I ain't no sucker. You're going to have to prove it to me. You can't just come in, start shining things up, throwing money around, and you got me as a fan. No. I'm reserved in my judgment. You're going to have to prove it. So I'm not saying that I'm fighting change. No, I'm not fighting Superman. I just want them to prove it. I want to see their product. I want to see how they work out. I want to see what they do for the fighters. Because right now, I'm not happy with boxing. But we have something. That's all I'm saying. Until something comes along better and can help us, I'm not just going to jump in bed with the next thing just because she's shining. I'm sorry. I'm a bit more reserved. You're going to have to earn my trust. You can't just read Pug's message there.
But Ring has power of media to influence demand. And if the fighter represents that ring belt, it is truly the best after smoke clears. Dust settles after the fight got made. How is the ring disputed?
Wow, this guy is crazy.
One championship is
Whoa, wait a
stepping.
minute. Read this right here for me, Papa. Real
Which
quick,
one?
man. Hold up. Why isn't his message coming up? There it is. Here we go.
How does it start? Look what they did, or Sufa has ran.
Sufa has ran the fastest growing
Growing
organization in
organization in
sports
sports
history.
history
The
in the
UFC is
UFC. I
full.
fully
I
trust them
fully
with boxing.
trust them with boxing. Stop right there. What's his name? We
We
fight
fight
what?
all night.
We fight all night. Okay.
He likes to trigger your ass to get the crash outs.
Yo, this has gotta be something to make me crash out. And you know what I'm saying?
No, but
This
I
guy
told
is
you from the beginning,
he is a
he's a
professional
true.
troller.
No, he's
Listen,
not a troller. That's one thing he's not. He just knows how
no,
to trigger you. But he
he's
is a
triggering me
UFC
right
guy.
now.
He is a UFC guy.
He is a
That
UFC guy. Okay,
yeah, he
okay,
is. He
okay.
is, and he's
How?
big
Wait,
on
wait, 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 wait,
super.
wait. Okay, front line, front line, front line, front line, front line. This is why I'm saying this. This is why I'm saying this. He's got to be trolling me right now.
No, he's not. He's dead
Okay,
ass.
stop, frontline, stop. You might not know about UFC or what's going on or whatever, but here, I'm gonna give you a little small crash course. How can you say that Dana White made UFC the fastest growing, which is true, right? And
Wait,
that
hold
he
on. Let's
stop.
clarify this. Let's clarify this. He didn't say Dana White. Let's clarify. He says Sufa has ran the fastest growing organization in sports history in the UFC. I fully trust them with boxing.
Okay,
He didn't say
check
Dana
this
White,
out.
just Sufa.
Okay, check this out. Check this out. First of all, the UFC Sufa didn't grow the UFC. Dana White and the Fatella brothers did that. Okay. All right. Now, Fatita brothers, right? Second, how are you going to say that you fully trust him when the UFC is involved in some of the biggest lawsuits in sports history to their fighters? They were already awarded $375 million to compensate the fighters that they robbed. Then there's a second lawsuit in the hundreds of millions too that's being determined again. They are one of the more corrupt against system fighters, what they're being described as slave wagers. Slave wagers. The key word there is slaves. So you're taking a UFC that was built of the sweat and blood of the men and women and that weren't given the rightful pay. They were put like rabbits with a carrot dangling in front of them with $50,000 bonuses, but you were only getting paid $14,000 for the fight. You had a gimmick. You had the highest, fastest growing gimmick. It was like you had a diamond mine. and you were paying the workers $2 an hour, and your diamonds were shining. They were worn around, the necks around queens and kings. But if they saw where the diamonds came from, that's the UFC. So you're taking that, you're claiming it to Zuffa, and you're saying they got boxing is like and great hands like Allstate. Wake up. Read the chat.
See, I don't know much about UFC or who started Sufa and shit like that.
That's
so
why I was telling you, Frontline, just let me talk. I was trying to tell you.
Weak Fight says, look what they did with McGregor. Without Sufa, there would be no McGregor. Bro was on food stamps before UFC. Izzo says, right now,
Stop.
the top.
Stop. 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 McGregor didn't need no help. McGregor had that it factor. McGregor would have made it anywhere. Without the UFC was going down without McGregor. The Sufa needed McGregor. In fact, McGregor's star status was so powerful, and that if look what they did for McGregor, that McGregor had to leave the UFC to make his biggest payday. Where? In boxing. You almost said something.
Yo, did Mr. Miyagi give you some of his caffeine?
Almost. No, listen. He talking about the UFC made McGregor and they made him all. McGregor's the bulk of his money wasn't even made in the UFC. How dare he say they made him? Boxing gave Conor McGregor $100 million. Is this guy crazy? Where did Sufa pay McGregor $100 million? Where? He had to leave his sport because he couldn't make it in his own sport and get paid right. That he had to go into boxing to
Didn't
make his
Ngannou do
biggest
the same shit? Ngannou?
Bro, these guys are whoa. Whoa, you
Right
just
now,
study shit, bro.
right now the
These
top
guys are crazy.
right now the top ring champs are Usyk at heavyweight, Bivol at 75, Crawford at 68,
The
and Inoue at
kickboxing
22.
champion can't get paid in kickboxing, so he's coming over to boxing to save him. Francis Ngannou made $600,000 as a champion in the UFC. $600,000 was his biggest bag. You know how much money he made fighting Tyson Fury? This guy is crazy. Sufa made Conor McGregor. Bullshit. Conor McGregor made Conor McGregor.
Pug says, understood, but the game of boxing will always be around. Same game, different names. Nobody can beat the martial art laws of boxing, regardless how they brand and control.
Well, as far as if just to clear up this, because I'm thinking it. If you're out there and you're saying martial arts is better than boxing or boxing is better than martial arts, there is no better. They're both having art. Keyword, art. They're a different kind of combat. Some men believe that you shouldn't be limited to just your arms. Some men believe that we should be able to use all our limbs that God gave us. And I couldn't disagree with that. Some men say, I don't want to play grab ass with you. Don't kick me. Let's stand here like two men and slug it out. I can't disagree with that neither. Some say that the martial artist would beat the boxer, so forth and so forth. As we've seen, a lot of the mixed martial artists have failed. But make no mistake, if you put AJ in a dark alley with Francis Ngannou, I don't think AJ comes out of that alley. But in a boxing match, he knocked him out. But if you let Francis Ngannou use all his talent, I don't think he wins that fight against AJ. I think it's a different fight. But,
we fight on that says they didn't get sued for robbing anyone. They are getting sued because a woman who is not a fighter fought for raises due to inflation for independent contractors.
That's
They
a
didn't
different
rob
lawsuit.
anyone.
That's a different lawsuit.
Then he says, learn the history.
That's a different lawsuit. That's one of them. You learn the history. The initial lawsuit, what was paid was because of fighters like what started this was Tito Ortiz. Tito Ortiz, remember he used to come out with the flames? He used to come out, he fought like Iceman, Chuck Liddell at that time. Then another fighter in Frank Shamrock led the way because Frank Shamrock tried to make a union, right? So fighters like Frank Shamrock. Then the other Shamrock, the white dude, he got all fucked up on drugs and shit. He owed like Dana White money, and then a lot of fighters put in that Dana White underpaid them. So there are multiple lawsuits that are still pending. There's even that idiot that remember that dude? He used to be a UFC fighter. I forget his name. He used to be a UFC fighter. Then he became a coach. Then he started making bets in the UFC fights and having dudes throw the fights. It wasn't that Dana White was having the guys throw the fight and that UFC was rigged. Dana White will never rig a fight. Dana White loves blood. He wants it to be just beat the guy. That's what Dana White does. Dana White, I don't ever believe he ever rigged a fight in his life. I don't believe that. But idiots like this dude, and then he goes on a podcast. He goes on what? Arowana? And he tells his whole secret. And then he gets banned from the UFC, gives UFC a black eye. That dude did that and made it look like some of these fights were like, so UFC has been down a lot of different roads, a lot of different accusations. But one of the main lawsuits is for underpayment. And the people that started those and that the names that were on the list, all those guys a lot of those guys got paid. You see the names on that list? Yo, there's names like fucking Frank the Tank Abbott. Man, I ain't heard that name in so many years. A lot of those guys are getting portions of that money. And they were even explaining like the way they were paying the guys. I guess former champions got so much money out of this lawsuit. There are multiple. I think in actual total, there was like 16 lawsuits filed against the UFC. Ronda Rousey and all them, they got their little movement going on and everything. But there are a lot of lawsuits on them. That's just one.
He says the Fertitta brothers started SUFA and sold it to TKO for $4.5 billion. McGregor was already fighting.
No, million. They sold it for 4.5 billion. That's what they sold it for.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay, yeah, he's right. Yeah, that's what they sold it for.
He said the Fertitta brothers started SUFA and sold it to TKO for $4.5 billion.
No, they didn't start SUFA. I mean, they didn't start SUFA, and they didn't start the UFC. The UFC was already there before Dana White. Dana White bought the UFC with the help of the Fertitta brothers. It was called the Ultimate Fighting Series. Remember when they used to have like
that's what UFC stands for, Ultimate Fighting Champions.
Right. Okay. Now check it out. Remember when you used to be able to come in a Komodo?
Yeah, that was the Gracie. That was the Gracie era.
The Gracie era, right? There was no weight division. The big Samoan dude fought against the skinny guy that broke his hand. It was chaos. There was no structure. When Dana White bought it and took it over, he put structure in it. Time limits, weight divisions. He put that into it, but he didn't have no money. So he went to school with the Fertitta brothers before he left Boston. He met back up with them later in life, pitched them, this UFC shit, and then he got a Spike deal with the network Spike off that legendary fight with Forrest Griffin. That night, got the UFC the thing, and then they started making did another smart move, and he started doing like that house where all the fighters were like fighters like Nick Diaz came out of. They were in that house coming through like the series, and then and back in that time, see, this is how I have proof that Dana doesn't fucking like try to throw fights. The one thing Dana White does, he lets the fighters fight, because Matt Serra was a UFC fighter that Dana White felt he didn't have enough skill to fight in the UFC. He was a UFC loser. He brought him to the show back. He brought all the losers back. And back then, when you went through the house, the reward was whoever won got a title fight. And he fucked around back then and gave them a title fight fresh coming out of the house. And he put him against George St. Pierre. And Matt Serra whooped his ass. And he lost his champion. Then they hit the rematch, and George St. Pierre beat him bad and got his belt back. And then Dana White said, no more of that shit. Now, if you go through the house, you get a UFC contract and $1 million. Because Dana White he did fuck up. He had the best things, and he got beat by Matt Serra, bro. And it was crazy. So that's why, because if he was staging shit, he would have never had Matt Serra beat fucking George St. Pierre. That would have been crazy. He would have had George, you know what I'm saying? So it would have worked out like that.
Shout out to Dwayne Styles in the building. Shout out to all faxes in the building.
Yeah, damn, White never bought shit. He never had no money. He ain't had no money. He sold that to the brothers that had money. They had the money. Dana came running from Boston with nothing. He was forced out of Boston by Whitey Bulger. So he didn't have nothing but...
Yo, Edwin, would you train for the Power Slap show?
Fuck no. Ain't no grown-ass man smacking me. I'll pull back. Where's my... Man, listen. Oh, no. I'm not volunteering to be smacked by no... Get the fuck out of here, bro.
They train for shit like that, too.
You crazy. You out of your damn mind, bro.
Imagine getting knocked out by a smack.
Ain't no imagining, bro. You smack me like that.
Oh shit! Izzo says pillow fight championships now. That makes sense. That's why Devin Haney went over to Sufa. I think he's competing for the pillow fight championship. That makes a lot of sense. They just haven't announced it yet because they want to break it on the pillow fight championships.
What you saying? Your grandson's fighting for that organization?
No, the pillow's undefeated. My grandson, my grandson, he fight back though, but he loses every single time.
He loses every time.
But he's still in training. 5 months old.
He's still in training.
5 months old. He started early. He's a fighter. Because he gets up and he goes at it with the pillow, but after he gets a bottle diaper change, that pillow wins again.
It wins again. The pillow is undefeated against your grandson.
That pillow's undefeated against my grandson. Boy, I tell you,
man. I don't know. He might want to try another sport.
I think I'm gonna get him into another sport. I got to start teaching him how to throw jabs and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because that pillow fight ain't working right now.
It's not working out.
Nah. He's like 0-12 right now.
Yo, but still, nonetheless, look, Dana White is only put in position to manage the show. He's there as the promoter. He's gonna manage the show. And if you're thinking, if anybody out there in the boxing world has always thought, why did Turkey Al-Sheikh not require the services of somebody that's already been in boxing, like Oscar De La Hoya, Ed Hearn, Bob Arum, and etc. Right? Why didn't he go like that? Why did he get a promoter from the UFC to start a boxing organization? And I try to explain this to the fight fans. It wasn't his vast knowledge in boxing. It wasn't that he had all the connects in boxing. You can establish that. What he hired Dana White to do was the same business mindset he used to form the UFC. Oh, see, Dana White is a shark. He's truly a shark. And in business, he shows no mercy. He's a shrewd businessman. He is the kind of man you want to build your organization. He's smart. He has good connections. Shit, he has the president of the United States as his best friend. They're constantly sending each other memes and shit, right?
Hey, real
So,
quick, Edwin, we fight. Thanks for coming through. He's gonna go record some content now. Peace out. Hey yo, guys, subscribe to We Fight All Night. He might have a difference of opinion, but if y'all follow UFC, that's who y'all need to sub to him. And also, he got another channel called We Game All Night. He does a lot of virtual gaming shit. So
okay.
shout out to We Fight.
Yeah. So Dana White was hired from the Turkey because of the fact that he is business mindset. I don't think it was more because of his boxing. And from the outside looking in, if as a businessman, I'm sitting there, I'm saying to myself, all the boxing promoters that are out there, you guys have all been here for years. And boxing is still this way. On your watch, you guys changed nothing. You guys are more corrupt than the next one. He was like, why would I hire somebody to start me an organization when they're in boxing and they're not making any changes? So let me hire somebody that has nothing, no ties with boxing, but has a vision, a drive, and knows how to build.
Well, that's just it. You said it. Turkey is he started off wrong by going after the
The
Ring magazine.
promoters,
Right.
the promoters
He went
first.
after the promoters
I
instead of
thought
going
he
after
should have bought all the organizations, the
correct.
belts.
So since he
You
failed
control
at
the
that,
belts, you control the game.
correct. So he failed at that. Since he failed at that, what he did was he decided to start his own league, and nothing better than to hire somebody who's in the fight in the combat sport business under the same umbrella,
And
TKO.
yeah, but also you got to think about this. Just think it through. These guys, all these promoters might hate each other, but they know each other. If I hire Oscar, bro, he's got ties with Al Heyman and Bob Arum. Bob Arum fucking made Oscar De La Hoya. It's like the corruption is keep going on because these are his friends. Hire somebody that has no ties or owes nothing to none of them. For God's sake, I don't know if Bob Aaron got a gold coin and he says to Oscar De La Hoya, I'm using my chip. You got to do you owe me that favor. I don't know if he owes him something for something or he owes him a favor or that. By hiring one of them, you're just hiring into the system. I'm not sure if I'm going to get my money's worth and the loyalty. Because you guys have been all in cahoots in one way or another for years. Let me get Dana White. He publicly said, fuck you to Oscar and this guy and that. That's what I need. He has no ties to any of you boxing and he owes you guys nothing. That's the guy I need. You don't hire somebody you're an out-of-towner yourself. They're just going to swindle you.
Yo, man, that's crazy. He said the Saudis only thing they're good for is pumping oil out of the ground. Everything
Oh
else,
my God.
they try, it fails. All Facts says that's why he was in Boston. They need to tell the truth why the mob really ran him out.
Well, I'll keep that reserved. Like
Boxing
I
kicked
wasn't
Dana White
there.
out of the '90s, just like they kicked Lou DiBella out. Yo,
Well,
Marasa, you ain't shit for that one.
yeah, Lou DiBella was stubborn in his ways. He wanted to challenge the top promoters. Lou DiBella has been wanting to get a seat at the round table with the top promoters. And Lou DiBella is like pissed off because he has the right to be like, because what he has to do is take his fighter and bring him to Top Rank or bring him to Ed Hearn or bring him and be a co-affiliation with that promoter so that you get their full staff.
It's similar to how Fresh Production was until they
Yeah,
got this.
yeah,
They
but
opened the door for
now
him.
Fresh Production is learning what to have staff and things. See, when Top Rank goes to a certain place, they already have whatever cities they go to. They've already established relationships over years of working in different cities. When they get there and they arrive, the setup crew that they use the same one all the time. They use the same format. They come in, they know what they do, they're doing their job. All these people that are working, setting stages, lights, all that are being paid off sanctioning for body fees. When the fighter walks out and the Tumbletron goes up, what do you think that just appears there? Top Rank is putting on a show for you. What do you think that the place that they rent out comes with all the lights and gadgets? No, you got to provide some of that shit yourself. When they're outside and they're in California having a press conference and the guy's walking down, what do you think? California just provides Trumbotrons with their faces on it? No, Top Rank provides that. They have these places that they have contracts with, all
Yeah,
paid.
that's the long term relationships that they have built throughout the
Okay,
years.
that's what I'm saying. That's a top promoting network. Does Lou DeBella have that?
No,
No,
but you
no.
said something. So you're saying that the sanctioning bodies pay for that, or Top Rank pays for it?
Okay, your promoter pays for that. The
So it's not the
promoter,
sanctioning bodies.
okay, the sanctioning body doesn't pay for any of that shit.
Exactly. They sanction the fight and they collect money.
Right, right. But the sanctioning body doesn't own the venue. It doesn't charge ticket prices at the door. The promoter makes that, and then the venue people, they cut a deal. Then the network cuts a deal. Then the streaming cuts a deal. And there's a lot of deals. None of those deals have to do with the sanctioning bodies. The only thing that the sanctioning body is to govern it as a professional sport. Their job is to hold the standard officiating,
Judges.
sanctioning body. Yeah, to make, because that way your kid doesn't go in the ring and get brutally murdered, and after he's a bloody pulp, they just drag him out into a hallway and throw his lifeless body in a hallway. There's nobody holding them as accountable. Boxing is a professional sport that if you cheat and we find you doping, they'll give you suspensions on certain cheating. They can be charges filed on you. How many athletes went to jail for doing certain things in a sport? When you're in a profession, that's what makes it a professional sport. They got ambulance over there, instant replay. All that is provided by the sanctioning bodies now, because they are the police of the sport. The sanctioning bodies come around and govern everything. They're monitoring and keeping you accountable to make sure that everything's on the up and up. Sanctioning body. They're the police of boxing. And they're supposed to be. They take envelopes, but hey, that's why I'm saying I'm looking for more change. I'm looking to protect the fighters' well-being. And I'm understanding that you can't fight the best, fighting the best all the time. Your career will be 6 years long and your brain will be mush. You got to understand these fighters, but also have these fighters give us these fights too as well. Keep boxing on a schedule. I think that's what boxing is missing. A schedule. Keeping boxing honest. Putting the real scoring up. Things like that. Being more transparent with the rules. Then let the rules be the rules no matter where you fight. One set of rules. If Dallas Cowboys play the Patriots and they go to Boston, the same rules are in Boston that there are in Dallas. Why can't we have that in boxing? There are a lot of things that are in boxing still in place to this day. We should have been changed. And some of these interim belts gotta go. You got to be the world champion and one interim belt. When you fight for the interim, that interim title, you should not defend an interim belt ever. Your next fight should be against the champion. The interim is put in place when the champion cannot meet his obligations to meet the fight for whatever reason that they cleared. You put an interim belt not to hold up that guy's future, but his very next fight should be against that champion. There should be more structure in boxing. There should be more unity. We got one of the biggest hurdles in all of boxing. You ever hear this phrase? I can't fight that guy because he's on the other side of the street. Why do you hear that? Because he fights for HBO and I fight for Showtime. Once upon a time. The networks want to lead the night. They want all the money. They're not going to split it. You're signed to my network. I don't care who you fight, but it's going to be for HBO. Now, that big problem is almost been solved. Everybody went to the zone. Once everybody go to the zone and everybody's on the same side of the streets, you can make these fights happen faster. So some things are being corrected. Some things need to be addressed.
It's gonna take time, Edwin. You know that. You know it's gonna take time. But you know what though? All jokes aside, if PBC falls in line, right, and they sign to the zone, think about it. Nobody has to stream nothing no more. Nobody has to go crazy getting interruptions and shit like that. Everyone could just pay for one subscription. Everything under that subscription, it would make the sport a lot more
and
money.
If they can lower the subscription by like $200-$300, man.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They'll come up with a game plan where it'll benefit everybody, and you'll actually generate more money for the sport because at that point, you know, nobody's going to be streaming it no more.
You're going to have a schedule for boxing. Why? Exactly. Because you got everybody streaming on the same network. No matter if Bob Aaron's putting a card or Ed Hearn, they're going to fill the gap for each other.
Correct.
And you're going to have a non-street, steady flow of great cards and fights all year round. Once you get on one, and that's why that was a big hurdle in boxing. That was hurting the sport. All these different streaming platforms and, you know, so forth. They're all one by one. The only one that's really missing right now is the PBC.
Right.
That's it. Once the PBC, you know, if you can't beat them, brother, join them.
Well,
keep making your money.
Look how easy they made that fight with Zayas versus Boots, where it was a lot of back and forth between Virgil and Boots, that a fight that never was made. If they were all to fall in line, dude, fights would be made a hell of a lot easier. Yeah, you'll still have cross promotion, but you're still under one network. You know what I mean?
Right. Yo, man. Well, that's a big problem that was in boxing. We got that out the way, and I like that. I like the fact that
All Facts says PBC on Prime. Why go to the zone? Excuse me, with Turkey, TKO owns shares. Nah.
Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button for me, man.
Midash. That like Pug says what he said back here. Let me go back to it. Sufa Boxing is funded by that $1 billion Paramount Plus deal, 5-year deal. Then he said, crazy part is Paramount just bought Time Warner.
Wait. Stop. Okay, go ahead. Finish reading it.
That's Showtime and HBO in one.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm a little confused, guys. You guys got to help me out with this. Paramount Plus, the Sufa deal with Paramount Plus, but didn't Dana White just announce that Sufa
they got another deal with
Sports?
Sky Sports for the UK.
Oh, for the UK. So
yeah, and he's actually launching his first UK fight too.
So that's all right. So he has one platform for America, one for there.
That's what it's looking like.
Okay. All right.
That's what it's looking like. All Facts says talk to him, Edwin cooking. Hit that like button. Welcome to the community where we support one another, says All Facts. We Fight All Night is the parlay king for UFC, MMA. He knows his shit. Bud made that up, says All Facts. In 2018, when he re-signed with Top Rank, then ended up suing Top Rank.
Yeah.
PBC on Prime. Why go to the zone with? Okay, read that.
And
Aya
then
says
lost in the lawsuit too, and then never filed for an appeal. They gave him 30 days to appeal the ruling, and he never appealed it.
round one. What's up? PBC holding America down, says All Facts. Pug says Misfits degenerate streamers milking boxing like Aiden Ross justifies real boxers at PBC, raising it to $80 price point on Amazon, and the $80 influence is the justification of a $540 DAZN yearly. When that Misfits Aiden Ross bare knuckle stops selling, the PBC and DAZN can drop their prices.
That bare knuckle shit is exciting, but your life expectancy for a fighter there is what? 3 fights? 4 fights? After 3 or 4 fights, you look like Paulie Malignaggi after one fight. Did you see what he looked like after just one fight?
Yeah, he don't look the same.
Bro, he needed plastic surgery, fucking, like one fight. Bro, it looked like he took the equivalent of 12 years, 13 years in a boxing as a boxer on one night. Like your life expectancy is four fights and you're done. I don't think no bare knuckle guy has 4 straight fights in bare knuckle yet. If I'm wrong, let me know, because I don't follow it like that. So that's my question. I'm saying I think. So please, who's the longest bare knuckle champion so far, or in his entire career, from since he started to champ? How many fights does he have in bare knuckles?
Well, it's
Who's
hard to
the
say because a
longest
lot of
one?
these bare knuckle people, they all came from a different platform.
Yeah, of
So,
course we know that. We yeah, they're like all former old champions, or not even champions, just fighters in general. But they had some fighting experience. Most
right,
of
but as
those
far as
guys,
bare, I don't think their record reflects on just bare knuckle. It just shows their fighting record.
like yeah, right. It
Like for an
might
example, when
right,
Paulie
right.
Malignaggi,
They'll use the entire. Yeah, okay, I
so
get what you're saying.
so it's hard to figure out, what bare knuckle fighter has,
Just in bare knuckles, what's their record alone in bare knuckles? Like, how many times have you seen him? Like that one dude. He's a real crash dummy. What's his name? Perry. Mike Perry. He's a real Mike Perry is gonna pay for all of that when he gets older. All those beatings and all those fights with broken noses, broken jaws, smash face, bro. When he's like 50 years old, he ain't gonna be able to spell his own name. He ain't gonna enjoy that money. There's something about life that when you get into something, you should be able to spend your money and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Fighters like Hitman Hearn, his entire family took all his money, all
hey,
his kids. His house got sold. He's living like with one of his kids in an apartment. That man had like fucking $70 million.
the longest as of 2026, Lorenzo Hunt is tied for the longest winning streak in bare knuckle fighting championship with 9 consecutive wins.
9 wins. That's the longest. 9 fights is the longest in bare knuckle. Wow. 9. Your career is based on 9 fights. Wow. Listen. Anyway, what was I saying there about what? Right before that, Frontline. Do you remember?
I don't know because I was looking that stuff up, so I didn't hear what you was talking about.
I was talking to something
Look up
about.
Juggernaut. That All Facts. Yep, that's who it was. He's been that's his name, champ for over 40 years in 2
I was talking
divisions.
about Hitman Hearns and his situation. He took all those punches to the face, had all those battles with Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvelous Hagler had all these. And Hitman Hearns is a 6th division world champion. He's one of the fewest champions that ever. A lot of people don't bring him up in divisions, but he's a 6th division world champion, Hitman Hearns. And for all those punches and wars, everybody else spent his money. He never got to enjoy that. They drove him up to the bank. Hey, sign this. He didn't know what he was signing. He was signing over all kinds of. They took full advantage. He couldn't even defend himself against his own family. And they're the ones that robbed him. If you ask me, sometimes this money ain't worth it. It's not worth it. So when I see Ryan Garcia and Jake Paul and all them dudes making all that money, congratulations. That's for all the men that fucking suffered. And I wish it could be fair. But this sport takes a lot from you.
Yeah, but Edwin, you can't compare. Tommy Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, that era versus this era, because this era is social media influenced versus back then.
Okay, wait, stop. I can always compare a punch to a punch.
No, that you can't.
Okay,
but I'm
so
talking
it doesn't
about
matter. It doesn't
money-wise.
matter. Yeah, money wise.
Think about this. If Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearn, fucking all the greats, Muhammad Ali, all those guys were fighting in this era with social media promotion and all that shit. Dude, they
You're
would be
wrong.
making
You're wrong.
they would be making way more money than they did back then.
You're wrong. I'm sorry. I know where you're going with this, and I'm just going to say you're wrong right off the back. The reason why you're wrong is because Sugar Ray Leonard made $44 million in his fight. He made more money than some of these guys are making today.
And put him in this era, that same fight in this era, how much would it make?
I don't know. It would make the equivalent of $44 million back then, whatever it becomes now. That's all I'm saying. It would be the same amount of money. It would be a different number, yes, because the price of eggs and bread goes up. Inflation, okay, but it would have been the same value amount, is what I'm saying. It would have been no less, no more.
But what I'm saying is he would have put more ass to seats.
I don't know about
today than he did back then.
Wrong. Because he put more asses back then because there was less ways to view the fight. You actually had to show up.
No, that pay-per-view. Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah. You had to show up. You would have to catch it on the replay or something like that. Yeah.
Right. There was no social media, no watching it on your phone. If you wanted to be there, that was the place to be. Today, you could be there by sitting in your living room. And most people didn't have the luxury to buy a color TV back then. They had black and whites and radios. So people traveled back then, and he sold more then. And pay-per-view back then, when Mike Tyson and Floyd, there was no streaming. You couldn't steal it unless you had like a firebox, and they always send a bullet to your thing on fight night and shit. But it was the value of pay-per-view was way higher than it is today. Piracy is at an all-time high. Right now, the networks are what they're doing. They're working with the cable company. The cable company's installing and telling you that your system was old. They need to come to your house and bring you a new one. That one right there got anti software that blocks the streaming. So even though your network you're streaming these fights, all your networks, just in case you didn't know, they can all see what you're watching. They just couldn't stop it. They could see exactly who's pirating, who has a Fire Stick, whatever. Whenever you're hooked up to the Wi-Fi, they watch you. They can monitor you can't lie, but they just couldn't stop you. Now
they still can't stop you.
No, who started improvising that was Dana White. Dana White started paying for the antivirus thing, and some of his fights you couldn't get on the Fire Stick, but it cost too much money. So by getting everybody on one network, DAZN, only DAZN got to pay for the antivirus non-streaming shit. Now it's not everywhere. Now you only got to do it in one place. That way you can control it. And soon, in a few months, you're not going to be able to do piracy. They're cornering everything into one place first to stop the piracy, to control the money, to get the money back up there. Once they get the money back up there and you got to buy to watch it, now the real money starts coming in like in the 80s with the Floyd money. That's when everybody had money because they kept you honest. That's where we're headed. I'm just, letting you guys know this is how streaming shit works. Trust me, I'm a streamer. I found all this shit out. My cable dude was mad cool. He told me everything. He's like, bro, we could see everything you do. And now they're putting this, they're going to tell you that this thing is old and it don't work. And they're lowering your streaming level on purpose, the cable company. So you always are buffering. Or if you connect too many devices in your house, they're going to lower your thing so that you have to call them to get the new equipment. Once that new equipment's in your house, it's game over. It's game over. And for all the people that got the new equipment, they got me too. So I know. In a little while, we're on the clock. We're not going to be able to, steal these fights no more.
Well, I want to thank you for whatever you did to restream and me talking hella shit about Inouye today. It didn't kick me out.
No, I fixed it. I fixed it. But you know what I should do today? I should play around with the settings again. That sounds like a good idea.
No, leave exactly how you got it. Leave exactly how you got it. The Cookie Monster got enough fucking clout for today. He's good. You know what I mean? We were talking about cheating. Inouye is a big cheater because he grabbed
Stop that.
he grabbed Nakatani by the back of the head and headbutted him on purpose. It was a sneaky move. The same way everybody's talking about Benavidez.
Just eat the crow. Eat the crow and admit you were wrong. That's it. You're gonna double down on this. Yes. So you're gonna be the Max Callahan of round one. No. You're gonna really keep going against Tom Brady.
Well, here we go. What do you guys know about round one sports talk? Is we don't sugarcoat shit here. We call it exactly how we see it.
No, I call it like I see it. No, you're biased as hell and crazy, right? I call the fights and Frontline. He always crosses the line. He's an habitual line crosser. You know what I mean?
Fax wants to know, what do you think about PBC staying with the pay-per-view route?
No one's gonna pay $85, $90 no more for that shit, bro. Once the zone locks all this shit in, fixes their prices, they're done. They're on a time schedule. It's just a matter of time, And with Sufa buying a lot of these fighters out of their contracts and starting to take, the PBC better pay attention to Sufa and what's going on. I think the PBC is, been around for a long time, and Al Heyman, somehow he pulls a rabbit out of his fucking ass every time. He really does. Now, I think that he's surrounded. Al Heyman's surrounded right now. He was surrounded before a lot of other times, but he managed to slip out. Not this time. You got Sufa in the back door, and you got the rest of these guys in the front. He's basically in the house, oiled up like this, with his last 6 bullets in each gun. It was a great stand. PBC, Al Heyman, but if you want to survive and you really still want to keep the PBC running and keep your fighters' money coming in, you could still be the PBC. They're not stripping you of your company. They just go with the streaming, go with the zone, and get your fighters these fights. Get in the room.
Well, I think that's where a lot of misconception comes in. Just because you sign a deal with the zone doesn't mean your promotional company's over. PBC is still going to be PBC. Okay, it's just instead of going on pay-per-view,
well, no.
You have one network that you're going under.
Right. I wish it
view the
was
fight.
like that. I wish it was like that, and I would stamp that, right? But it's not going to end up that way, because what's going to happen is once the PBC goes, the reason why the PBC probably has not gone over there yet is because they see what I see. If you sign to the zone, Turkey owns stock in the zone. He also owns stock in Matchroom, and he owns stock in Sufa. He owns the Ringside magazine. They think he could still, by going to the zone, you're still under kind of like Sufa, the Turkey Al Sheikh's thumb, because Turkey owns enough stock in the zone to force some of these fights that the PBC might not be willing to take. Now you're not going to feel like you still own your own company. You feel like you sold your soul, because although you still own your own name, they're still pulling the strings. Without being inside of their party, you still control you. I see what Al Heyman's fighting. He's fighting a big fight. I respect him for what he's doing. But by signing with them, you have the illusion that you still have your company and your name. That's what you have, the illusion. But you're going to feel the pressure from the rest. And you're going to soon find out you are no longer in control. You see, these cards were put in place, right? And then what Turkey does, he puts Ed Hearn in the head of this one. He puts Oscar the head of this one. And you notice those are not all Oscar fighters. Some are Ed Hearn, some are Frank Warren, some are Top Rank. But who's the lead promoter? Ed Hearn. And he's using them to make them feel like they're still controlling something. But in actuality, who's pulling the strings? And once Turkey, he's slowly closing the clamp on all of them. He's got Sufa this way. He's got the zone that way. Matchroom this way. He's got you guys surrounded. He owns the ring. He got you all to go into the zone. He's like moving cattle. Move, go this way. Go that way. And he got you all here.
Well, thank God for PBC for making Cinco de Mayo worth watching. And we got the real monster. Please stand up.
Shut
David
that
the
up,
Monster
bro.
Benavidez. And shout out to the Cookie Monster for a hellified sparring session with Junto Nakatani.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, PBC.
Yo, thank you guys for tuning in, locking in. Yo, All Facts, my man. If you guys got the time, go check out my man, All Facts. He's got a great channel over there too. Show him some love. And thank you for everybody tuning here at Round One Sports Talk. Please don't forget to give these videos a like, share the videos, become a Round One Sports Talk member. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Frontline, you've been the best, but you need to eat crow.
Hey, and you guys need to headbutt.
Wrong. Hey, yo, Frontline.
I need you guys to headbutt that like button.
Hey, yo, Frontline.
Like Naoya in a way.
Hey, yo, Frontline. Who's the monster? Who's the real monster? Well, Frontline doesn't know. His microphone cut out all of a sudden mysteriously, but I'll answer for him. It's Naoya in a way. That's what Frontline would say. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Love yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Frontline, we know you love Naoya in a way. Secret.